Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to the Team Jacked podcast. I am your host, Raymond McNeil. Joining me, as always, is the wonderful Twilight Guardian, who is currently suffering a lot of loud background noise.
I'm sorry, but hello.
And the smoggy Kaiser Shonen.
Fucking what?
I'm gonna go.
Does that
close
mean
my
you
window.
can't see me?
I think it means you're kind of like oily and covered in grease, or like, pollutant.
Ew.
Okay, just because you got done watching a movie Bob video last week does not mean that is an insult to me. That's a betrayal, honestly.
Smoggy, so he's
shit.
he's Los Angeles as a person. Oof.
Damn.
I want to give a shout out to Robert Glendining. Glendining. Okay, that's a lot of N's in your name. Glendining, who just gifted 10 memberships in chat. For those who don't know, memberships are available for the channel now, which get you a unique little icon next to your name and unique emotes.
Good shit.
It also gets you access to the Team Frostbite Discord server, so long as your YouTube is connected to your Discord. So you can join us for Bad Fanfiction Night. But like this man did this. I'm pretty sure you were the one that did it during Bad Fanfiction Night last week as well, which is insane. And also, if anyone ever wants to see me go absolutely mind-numbingly crazy, watch that stream. It is rare that a fanfic can break me on the level that this one that we're reading did, and we still have 2 more sessions of reading through it before we basically take a pause on it. Because, you know what? It's entertaining enough, we'll come back to it. But, it's,
Okay,
whew.
I haven't touched on it since like the first couple of sessions that you had with it. I don't know how much more wild it could get.
Well, okay. In the prior session, which was the first half of the chapter, Yang accessed the ability to become a dragon.
Okay.
That's where it starts.
Oh my god.
At some point, we
So
learn...
it's Skyrim now.
Well, at some point, we learn that one of the OC characters has a PhD in theoretical aura theory. I did not misspeak. That is exactly how it is laid out on the page.
So they're a TikToker. Got it. I understand.
Is that stream buffer for anyone else, or is it just me? I don't know. I mean, everything on it's not Streamlabs this time around. Thank Christ. Please use a keyframe sequence of 4 seconds or less. I am using a 4-second or less keyframe.
We'll use it harder.
Let me double check. Stream output is 0. It is decidedly less than 4. Oh, yeah, that's not on me. Maybe refresh, guys. I don't know if that'll help at all, but
yeah,
I pray it does.
You probably got the what was it? The Miles and Carey syndrome, where they can't count.
Don't forget about Attorney in the Steven Universe. Don't remind. Oh, fucking hell! I forgot about that.
What?
You just have to watch it. And for the record, this was like the worst time because Twy had to get dragged away at the last minute by her family to go out to eat. So basically, I was like, fuck it. I'll do this chapter alone. That was a mistake.
Damn. Oh my god.
Oh, and if she's not commenting, she probably went off to help her grandfather. So yeah. Yang's not a dragon.
Alone
she's gender
again.
bent Samson. Get it right. No, she's a dragon in this.
What?
She is a dragon, which means that Ruby should probably be a dragon too. But we haven't touched on that either. Yang is a giraffe. I mean, yes, that is accurate. That is accurately how she was described.
She's a giraffe.
Actually, there like some of the fan art that was done by some of the people in chat, like Sego, is like incredibly adorable. Like it's a very cute Dragon Yang. I appreciate it. Everyone else was doing the Mimi Dragon Yangs, which were also fun.
Right.
What turned in the Steven Universe? Bad fanfiction night. Go watch the last episode of it. You'll understand. And you'll also, like, peer into the depths of the stars and see beyond what is meant to be seen by the human mind.
Only in the Twilight Zone.
I know, the Twilight wasn't there, sadly.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, Robert, for gifting all those people new memberships. I hope you all enjoy. You know, that means you're now obligated to hang out with us for a month. So
Absolutely.
So be sure to
Chief.
Oh, thanks. I'd rather keep
That's
my
that,
remaining brain
dude.
cells.
I wonder how much worse that would be during the spring.
Oh God, are you allergic to yourself? And the buffering is back for me. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's happening. Everything seems good on my end.
Yeah, doesn't seem to be buffering while I have the stream on my phone either.
That's weird. I maybe lower the resolution. It should be.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2003 Dragon Transformation. I remember that shit, dude.
I'm stuttering to hell. Help me. I have buffer solutions.
Buff. Dude, what?
I'm on my phone and still doing. What is happening? YouTube. Your turb? God, maybe it's good. That's why.
Your turb. Celtic, did you buy a cursed ship?
Did I buy a cursed
Not
ship?
this time.
No. It's just me that's cursed. I'm at 144p and still have buffers. What?
That is insane.
Frack? Paid promotion.
Is this the monkey's paw for getting all those subs?
Oh God, no. According to date and location.
I hope
license,
not. I
comments,
really
ratings.
hope not.
Is there a way I can, like, view activity, stream health? It's telling me the stream is healthy now. We have an excellent connection. What is happening?
That's weird.
If I turn this up to 720p. Everything looks fine on my end.
Yeah, I have the stream on my phone and it's not buffering at all.
This is just weird. YouTube?
The refreshing does
YouTube.
nothing. What in the fuck?
The refreshing, it does nothing. You're good now.
You're good right now. Okay.
All right.
That's one person.
We can only pray that it will stay stable until Twi gets
Hopefully.
back. I actually surprisingly
Thanks,
might have
Billy.
to dip out for a few minutes because it's my father's birthday today. So I'm gonna have to.
Oh,
probably
happy
go
birthday to your pops.
I'll have to go say hello. Hello to Papa Celtic when he gets home from work.
Right.
I refreshed it.
It works. Okay, they say we should be good for right now.
All right, here's praying. Maybe YouTube heard me when I told it was at 0. It's like, oh wait, sorry, we're blaming you for a problem you didn't actually create. But who knows? Scuff. Anyway, while we're waiting for Twi to get back, so we can actually go on to our. Maybe you need more subs. Maybe. I mean, absolutely. I could totally go for more subs. Pray hard enough. Yes. Yeah. We can talk about.
Pray hard enough.
We can talk about, I guess, the Switch 2 stuff. That's some fun stuff.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. I mean, as most people probably are, to the new Metroid game. I honestly lost hope that they were ever going to make another one, like a Metroid Prime game. My bad.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by a lot of it. I don't know how it's going to actually spin out. Psychic powers is an interesting route to go with for Samus.
Yeah, that honestly, I did not think to do of that for an idea for Samus in particular.
Oh man, I love 90 games. Yeah, that was just huge. Does Celtic have a Discord? Yes, and you can join the Discord for $1 or more to my Patreon, or by becoming a member here on the channel. That's where you get access to the Team Frostbite Discord server, the Tundra. And yes, also rip to Val Kilmer. Very sad. Silk Song,
that honestly sucks.
Silk Song got announced. You mean, I think it got a release date. That and Deltarune 2, or Deltarune Parts 3 and 4 got a release date.
Good shit.
So that's good. I'm actually like the opening act, the Mario Kart World, is the one that actually caught my interest the most. Weirdly enough, I'm not even really a big racing guy, but
Right.
that just looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it does.
Hi, Dwight. You're back. How's your dad?
Yes.
Grandpa. Sorry, your grandpa.
My grandpa's fine. He just took a very long time to get out of the car.
Understandable.
Hmm.
I was explaining. We were talking about Switch, but I explained a little bit earlier. I might have dipped out for a few minutes to go say happy birthday to my dad. So,
Right.
giving you a forewarning.
Almost forgot.
Yeah.
Almost forgot.
Okay.
Great Bar for £5 says, "Damn it! The one time I wanted to do essay, and now it's illegal. How can I do my 8-hour The Bouncer essay now?" Ah,
my God.
Okay, Kaiser, you need to pronounce it correctly. It's The Bouncer.
The Bouncer. Gotcha. Yeah. Honestly,
I just
is
whoever said
is very Nomura dialect.
Whoever said, "Hey, if you get a game over, we're going to take you back to the main menu title and just constantly have the announcer say, The Bouncer." Genius. Mwah!
Yeah, that is the one upside to losing in that game.
If you guys,
because from what I remember, they like take you all the way back to the beginning, and you have to do the whole thing over.
no, you can save, but you have to like re-navigate the menu to get to the load screen. It doesn't let you load on.
I gotcha. Yeah.
It doesn't let you continue automatically either. It just goes immediately back to The Bouncer.
Of course, who doesn't want to go back to that?
I do recommend. Pro Jared has, I think, a 4-part Let's Play because it's a really short game on his YouTube on Pro Jared Plays. Highly recommend it. It is just hilarious. I'll take him 5 minutes to go back to the save is incredible. Yeah, that game is very well designed. While Nintendo may have announced it, Elden Ring getting new armor on every system. Oh, that's cool. I'm more excited for whatever that new Bloodborne 2 is thing that they announced. It's not Bloodborne 2, but it looks like Bloodborne 2.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm going to get the new Mario Kart. I'm going to probably have to get a Switch 2 for a lot of things, but I'm going to get the new Mario Kart, and I'm going to exclusively play as Cow. That is it. I'm going to.
Yes, of course.
I'm playing as the cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually
Bloods or something. Yeah.
I'm actually kind of impressed with how much they've managed to improve the Switch.
Yeah, there's a lot about it that just seems so much nicer now.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Anyway, now that we have everyone here and we can actually fully talk, let us get into today's coverage, which is a little ditty by the name of Why Everyone's a Video Essayist Now by Fudge.
Fudge.
Just fudge.
Just Fudge. I believe it was Kaiser that recommended this video.
I did. I didn't really hear all that much about it. It's just that I saw the title, I see the thumbnail, and it seems like a very interesting subject, just given the bulk of what we do and the types of people that we cover.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, all three of us are video essayists to some stripe.
Yeah.
So this is a interesting, because the title card, the thumbnail for this, as you can see reflected in ours, declares because it's easy. And
Right.
no,
No.
no,
baby.
Dude,
if it were really that easy, I would not be putting out videos monthly. Let's put it that way.
I haven't even put out a video in months because of it. It takes so long.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a skill you have to develop and nurture, and you can definitely get to high speeds, but you need to get there in the first place. In fact, I mean, like I talk about my hero video. I've been plinking away at that, and I've been moving a lot faster than I would be now that I've learned some new tricks. But even still, I'm with everything else going on, I'm not making much progress. I'm almost ready to add like the manga panels and clips. I've been mostly doing the Kelpie poses.
Right.
Why does it take me ages for me to do one video essay if it's easy? Exactly. Like people underestimate it. Now, he's probably going to mention low quality essays because they do exist and they are bad and some of them get popular. But they're
Yeah,
not
sure.
the rule. And I'm wondering what examples he's going to pull up as well. Like that's most intriguing. It's like, especially since this disclaimer here, I don't own most of this content shown in this video, but if it's all used in it is all used in a transformative nature and therefore falls under fair use. If you copyright strike me, I will repeal it. So maybe don't because there's no point. Awesome, lol, thanks. XO.
Okay.
Confident start, I guess. You don't really typically need to declare that, but whatever. Let's see. Yeah, it's easy if you're bad at it. Yeah, true.
I mean, yeah. To be fair, yeah.
Now we're looking at a nice leisurely watch. It's only about 20 minutes, but you know us. Ask Kaiser how he feels about no new Mega Man games.
I mean, well,
there's
what
only
else?
been one new Mega Man game for how many years?
Almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what else is new? Like, of course, people have been clamoring for a Mega Man Star Force collection because Battle Network was so successful, but we take what we can get, even if it's nothing.
Also, I apologize for dipping again, and I might do that throughout the stream because my grandfather just got home from a minor surgery, and so he can't walk, and so I'm going to be his slave for the next couple of weeks.
Mega Man.
He specifically just called me out, just teased me about it.
I was gonna say, I'm just sitting here like Mega Man Legends 3, maybe a collection.
Yeah,
dude. If they ported Mega Man Legends 1 and 2 to Switch,
Switch,
and they updated the controls, oh my god! Like that is like the biggest issue with those games is the control scheme. The control
From
scheme,
what I heard,
it is so because it doesn't have analog controls. It's all like you use your bumpers to turn. It's so clunky. But if you give me full analog control, oh my god, it'd be just amazing.
Maybe Mega Man 12 was the friends we made along the way. Absolutely.
All right, well, let's dive into this video and see what this gentleman has to say.
Video essays are easy. There it is. There's the core of the video. You can click off now. A lot of people do that in the first 30 seconds.
Okay.
Well,
no, I'm kidding.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone. Great stream.
Roll credits.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, shit.
Talk attention span, baby. I don't say this to be spiteful or judgmental, but I say this because in 2024, I have an immense amount of sympathy for actual creatives. People trying to make something new from the ground up, something that requires an attention span and patience from the viewer, which is an increasingly short supply. It feels like a truly unfair time to be a creative. There's more people talking about things other people have made than there are people actually making things. God forbid you make one slightly mid-movie or game, because some white guy will have whipped up an 8-hour video essay on its shortcomings within 2 weeks, and that will make infinitely more money and get infinitely more attention than your creation ever will.
How dare we have opinions on things?
Yeah, for real. Like, and not to mention, like, people don't get mad over mid games or movies. They get mad at bad movies and games.
Oh no, people do complain about mid things too, but like, it doesn't usually get as much traction.
Yeah, no, it's specifically the bad stuff and the stuff that we collectively agree is bad that keeps getting the video essays. And sometimes you have people like me who do passion projects for their favorite franchises and then take 50 years to do the second part because you're so crippled over getting everything accurate.
Sky Slasher says, I'm not a video essayist, so the video is already invalid. True.
Yeah, honestly. And also, like, the whole thing about, it's so much harder being a creative. What the fuck are you talking about? Creatives on YouTube make so many freaking views. They get so much fucking attention, dog.
Digital
Especially
circus.
Nowadays.
Go to.
Yeah. Well, like, I kind of understand that because even though that creatives do get a certain amount of attention, it's not all creatives and not equally. And also, just because we get a lot of attention for things doesn't mean that our our creative products
are good.
Are ultimately respected.
That too.
By wider society.
It's like there's a number of factors that go into this. Like for one, we are in an age of unprecedented access for all creatives. You can make an indie project, get it out on YouTube, and have the potential of it reaching millions of people around the globe without having to go through a major distributor or some kind of studio, anything like that. So we are already reaching a point of, people call it democratization, but it's just dissemination. Like what we are starting to lose out on, and what we're starting to phase out of, and I think it's all good. In many good ways, I think is we're losing the superstar type mentality. Like we still have them and we still gravitate towards them, but more and more, like you will hear of people be like, oh yeah, have you heard of Nandy McNanzers, who has 10 billion subs on YouTube? And I'll be like, I have never heard of this man in my life. I didn't hear about Mr. Beast until he crossed like the 100 millions mark or whatever he was. Like I didn't hear about him until that point, and that made news. And it's like, okay, great.
I first heard about Mr. Beast by all of those scam ads that was going on.
That's when I first heard about
Whoa, you know Nandy McNanders? Look, only by reputation. Sorry. But the loss of monoculture has a lot to do with it. Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, and there is something that is lost as a result of it. We had an unprecedented period of cultural zeitgeist when it came down to our entertainment. We're no longer having shows like that are the big hot topic anymore. I think the last one was probably Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones,
maybe relatively Invincible, but not to the same extent.
I know Invincible's niche. I mean, like people want to say it's huge and big, but like animation is always going to get the short end of the stick in terms of that. Like it's big, it's big online, but I really doubt Squid Game fell into an unusual crevice in that it hit like right during COVID. So like it and what was it? The Tiger Diary ones, that about that no good Carol Baskin. What is it? That those like hit at like a time, Tiger King. Those hit at a time where people couldn't mass communicate, so the internet zeitgeist actually came out into real life. But like now it's starting to equalize, and we're not really getting those big moments. I mean, it's the reason I think a lot of film, even when they're good, when they're actually, a lot of them are not, but like even when they are good, they're not catching on quite as hard as they used to. So it's we're in a weird time for creatives where you're potentially picking up a much larger niche fan base, but you're not entering a major universal monoculture zeitgeist. And what we're also then experiencing then is people covering the things in their niches, which in many ways help what's that? Not procreate. That's another P word. Proliferate, proliferate. It helps it disseminate throughout a wider audience, because you're suddenly having more people commenting on it with a larger base and adding that base to your base. Like it's all a bunch of different spheres that are connected together instead of everyone flocking to like 5 or 6 main big spheres.
Also,
in some ways this is better.
Oh God. Oh, in some ways it's better. God, sorry.
No, that's what I was gonna say. So in a lot of ways, it's better because you have. We are a tribal species, so having your little niches is like having your little villages, and in some ways, it's something for everybody. Everybody can have their own little spaces. You don't need to flock to one mega hyper community that is just like a mega Tokyo, New York.
Yeah.
I like my village. It's very quaint.
Yeah. I like my village. But like freaking, and the thing about it is, of course, is that maybe this might not be the case going forward in this video, who knows, but I feel like this guy is gonna vastly overestimate the success of most video essays on YouTube, and also just probably overplaying how negative video essays get more views than like positive ones, because I feel like people tend to overestimate that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I already have
often.
Mandalore Gaming and the Kill Count in the chamber right now to discuss, because both those are very positive channels.
Yeah.
Sure,
And in
that
fact, my
creation
most popular video on my channel is a positive video.
Technically speaking, all of mine are. Fixing Ruby is a positive series, despite
True.
what some people will try to tell you.
Yeah, of course.
That guy will have whipped up an 8-hour video essay on its shortcomings within 2 weeks, and that will make infinitely more money and get infinitely more attention than your creation ever
Okay,
will.
I'm back.
And sure, that creation was flawed and it had its shortcomings, but making it was infinitely more impressive than just picking it apart on YouTube. Here's a question. How many new movies have you watched in the past year?
Okay, yeah, I'm actually going to rewind a bit there. It's infinitely more impressive creating that movie than it is dissecting it. No. I mean, like, okay,
Not necessarily.
not necessarily. Like, the amount of effort that went into the original creative project potentially is,
Sure.
and more than likely is more than a video essayist. But when you consider the sheer scale of things, a production of a creative work typically involves multiple people banding together. If it's a single individual doing something like, say, Stardew Valley, there's a reason people hail Stardew Valley. It's a work of passion done by one dude who made just a complete spaghetti code to make his game work.
Pretty much.
Like, I remember, because I've been watching some content on it, you know, I get it in my shorts feed, and people complain about how just the back end of Stardew Valley is a fucking mess. So modders get mad at him. Apparently, he actually brought on one of the most popular modders that actually came in and fixed a lot of stuff up. But the idea that, you know, you have these huge teams of people that can all contribute and pick up some of the weight. Meanwhile, video essayists typically are working on their own or in their own very small teams, and they're taking a lot of time and effort to study something and try to elaborate on why they feel a certain way or what they think might be a potential flaw, which can then be synthesized by people watching it to improve their own creative works. You're somehow cutting out that there is a value to this for creatives themselves. If I'm a creative and I make something and someone's telling me, hey, this doesn't work and this doesn't work. This was fine, but this doesn't work over here. And here are maybe some ways to repair them. Even if I don't take those suggestions initially, I at least know, okay.
You can at least give them the props that like they took the time to do it.
And then I can say, like, okay, here's a problem here and a problem here. Okay, I can try and fix these for future projects. Also,
like, there's multiple different ways of breaking something down that isn't just criticism. Like, just the other day, I watched a video on the dubbing of Kingdom Hearts and how some of the dubbing is really good, but then some of the dubbing really changed the context of what was going on in Japanese. And the person studied Japanese, and she was able to break down sentence by sentence and even word by word to show you how Japanese was structured and how it differs from English and the difficulties that can come with localization and why a particular sentence that was in one of the infamous groups of Kingdom Hearts quotes might be accurate to what was said in Japanese, and why this other sentence was not accurate to what was said in Japanese.
Did somebody say the door to darkness?
That was actually very close to one of those dialogue lines.
I don't imagine that was anything other than accurate.
Really, that was one of them?
I imagine it's a very simple line. It's just always funny to hear Mickey Mouse.
Oh yeah, no. There was a sentence that was used in the video that was adjacent to that one, like it was part of the same conversation. And it was about like Ansem the Wise and being like, yeah, I knew him and stuff like that. And then she pointed out this, what I can only imagine is a leftover from a previous translation before they cleaned it up, because Donald asked a question and then Mickey said something in reply to it that wasn't in the realm of answering his question before going ahead with the conversation. And she's like, now that we have discovered this, we can't unsee it, and now you can't either. And I'm like, oh fuck.
Izanagi says,
damn,
to
dude.
go to a bit postmodern in terms, this statement only values the creation of primary works and not simulacra or secondary level works that are derived from an original work. Yeah, no, I'm already getting that sense.
Yeah, essentially.
Because it does take a lot of work. Like, if you ask a question about, like, hey, would it physically be feasible to build the Tower of Babel from Pat Labor 1? Would it physically, like is the Babel project a physically feasible thing? You can ask that question as a part of criticism and actually dig into the fundamental, like, you can like look up construction, you can look up the square mass principle and like how large structures need to be supported, that sort of thing, how you pump water and reclaim land, like all of that you can research and get extra information out of and then relay it to people. I mean, one thing that I'm doing for a story at some point, I need to mess with the rotation of the Earth to arrive at a certain type of environment. And so like I'm trying to look at, this is like a in the background thing, but I'm looking at like different astronomical or astrological, no, astronomical was correct. Astronomical like simulators and such, and people that do that kind of research and trying to arrive at like, I want this kind of ideal scenario. How do I achieve it? And like, if someone were to then criticize my work and be like, well, is it accurate that he made this and this and this happen in order to achieve this particular result? And did he do it correctly? And then they came away with the conclusion of, hey, I've done all the math for you in this video essay to examine it. And this guy did his homework. And it's like, damn, I feel really happy. It's almost as if someone appreciates all my hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah. People seem to just automatically think that if you're criticizing something, then that means that you're trying to tear it down. And that's not necessarily true. Like, you are trying to dissect it, trying to pick it apart and look at all of the individual pieces. That doesn't mean that you're breaking it. It means that you're taking it apart. There is a difference.
If anything, what you're doing is stress testing.
Let Kaiser speak. Sorry.
No. I was that's the exact point I was going to point out. Yeah, you're stress testing the work. If it takes a lot of pieces in order to put the original work together, then it would make sense that there would be people who would look at it and see those individual pieces. Like I would love, in fact, you can create an entire realm or niche of content based on analyzing a specific aspect of a work. Like, I love Evangelion. One of my favorite mecha anime, one of the best mecha anime. And freaking, what was it? There's this guy named Timberwolf Studios that has some of the best videos on it ever, because he specifically goes at it from the realm of the directing and the animation techniques and the visuals, and how well these pieces are used in order to convey not only the front textual aspects of the series, but all the subtextual stuff. And it's incredible. His editing is great, and it makes me appreciate the series even more than I already do.
Ugox asks, the Tower of Babel? No, it's Tower of Babel.
You said Babel.
Did I say Babel? Okay. I think
you said Babel.
For the longest time, I used to pronounce it Babel. And I think it's because I only read it, and it just sounded better in my mind than Babel, because, well, this is where it comes from, is babbling, and it sounds like, it sounds goofy, it sounds like you're saying something ridiculous, not realizing, the term came from the Tower of Babel for a reason. So I try to say Babel, but I do sometimes slip into Babel.
Well, I think that the reason why you say Babel is because you remember Moses parting the Red Sea with the Beyblade.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah. It's and people are citing Mahler, and yeah, I do think Mahler does an incredibly great work with his videos, and those take months of research because he's trying to make sure he has all of his references sorted and every single possibility accounted for, and that's a small
why they're
sum.
so long.
That's why they're so like to give an example of this, sometimes there's ambiguities in films. And if there's an ambiguity in a film, you need to determine, one, was that intentional or unintentional? Two, does it function in, is there a realm where it functions that is likely or unlikely? How unlikely would it be how lucky is it that this particular set of events happen in this way? And you can kind of narrow down, and while you can't be absolutely precise on this, but you can kind of narrow down whether or not they put enough thought into it, or they just let something slide that they really should have put a little more time into. Like that sort of thing.
Yeah, and like criticism on this level can be good for you as a creative because people can get very lazy with their art as well. Just because you made
100%.
something doesn't mean that you spent a whole lot of time with it. Like there are a lot of novels out there that were just crapped out, and we can tell as readers, like the really big ones right now that are like kind of infamous in the book space community is the Lightlark series and the Dragon series, the
Dargan. The Yang Zhao Long series.
Aragon?
No, it's anyway, I'm not going to remember the name at the moment, sorry. But Fourth Wing. Thank you, Miss Flode. Fourth Wing and Lightlark are both books that were just crapped out as fast as possible. And you can tell because the world building is non-existent. The character logic is also non-existent. The characters are fine.
Jesus.
For Fourth Wing, not so much for Lightlark. The characters are also pretty garbage for Lightlark. And probably the only reason why the characters are kind of good for Fourth Wing is because it was written by an experienced author in the romance genre, not in the fantasy genre.
Double checking. Right. People say we're lagging. I'm double checking.
Oh dear.
Yeah, we've been. This. It has to be on YouTube's end. It has to be.
Yeah, it has to be.
Because like I'm seeing absolutely everything good across the board right now.
And even then, it seems to be selective. Like I'm
only
looking at the stream from my phone. But
Ugok says, I watched A Real Pain a couple of weeks ago. I recommend it, but I'm Polish, so there's a bias there. But do I count or not in this argument? I don't even know what A Real Pain is. But you are Polish, and thus, according to my grandfather, I must discount you. That's a joke. That's a joke. My grandfather gets into a lot of trouble because and I admire this. He's very much egalitarian when it comes down to making jokes at everyone else's expense. He will, regardless of political correctness, insult everyone, including himself and Irish people and other fellow Celts. But it still lands him in a lot of trouble, even though he's equal-handed about it. Bruja Bear, are you guys supporting criticism or critiquing? Yes. I very much a big fan of it. Hey, Celtic, I'm binge watching your bad fanfiction night on Ruby Project Alpha. I'm currently on episode 7, and holy shit, is this a wild ride. Episode 8 is where I almost die. Titan, you're in for a ride.
I still gotta watch it.
You need to watch it, Twi. I don't know if it's just like the build of everything else that came before that finally something tipped over, or if really that last stretch of that chapter really is that bad. I don't know. I just know that I popped a blood vessel reading that.
Are you okay? Did you have to go to the hospital?
No. I just died peacefully and reincarnated. Now Phoenix does.
True.
But let's see. Apparently, me leaving the stream
beats
and
having
coming
knee
back.
surgery, I guess.
I see. So people maybe try that. Leave the stream, come back, and please do come back. Don't just leave the stream. It'd be very sad.
That would make me cry.
But yes, this I don't like where this guy is headed. We're only
Not
54
good.
minutes in, and already it feels like you're really discounting.
54 minutes?
Sorry, 54 seconds. We're only 54 seconds in.
54 minutes. Holy shit.
We really stretched this out, didn't we? It's a 20-minute video.
Yeah.
We got an extra 34 minutes there.
God.
Okay.
And it had its shortcomings, but making it was infinitely more impressive than just picking it apart on YouTube.
Not if it's shit. If it was shit, like,
Yeah, now if it's
I'm gonna
bad-
tell you now, The Last Jedi, and actually, you know what? The entire sequel trilogy is garbage and really needs to be brought back to the drawing board.
Hang on. We're also, like, this guy is also assuming that picking something apart is, again, inherently negative. You can pick something apart in order to show how good it is.
Yes.
Is that not also
like people analyzing a fight scene from its choreography?
Is that also less impressive that you can figure out all of the nuances and all of the little details that are going on in a scene by picking it apart?
Yeah. Oh my god. I mean, like the essays that could be written on something like the new God of War games, which are so thematically dense and like very rich in how they employ the mythology that they're inspired by. It's like this guy is just really taking it from such a bad perspective.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
How many new movies have you watched in the past year? How many new video games have you played? How many new albums have you listened to? In comparison, how many video essays do you think you've watched? Or consumed is the word we use a lot now. I'm old enough to remember when media consumption was hardly even a concept people talked about because you didn't have to consciously think about what you did or didn't
What, because you
watch.
lived in the 70s?
Also,
Before you
Yeah, dude, what?
like, dude, I can do things simultaneously. Like, I play video games while listening to essays in the background if it's not like a story intensive game. It's just a
Yeah.
One new show I recently watched, Severance. Yeah, that show's really freaking good. I also watch a whole bunch of video essays about other things that I am already interested in. And that's another aspect of this that this guy isn't getting. Most of the time, at least from what I've seen, maybe I'm off base because of my own personal experience, most of the people who tend to watch and especially like comment on video essays are people who are familiar with the thing that they are talking about.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's
So
I've been watching a lot of video essays on how to do gunpla painting. Those are video essays.
Yeah.
They're not just instruction booklets. It's people giving commentary on, say, a particular build or a particular type of gunpla. There's several things there, like how instructions on how to do things, or people talking about like the intricacies of a game, or showing you how to do something. God, there's so many different types of essays out there. I'd be discredited right now.
I watch a lot of videos on writing. Like they're video essays on writing. You can or I watch documentaries. Those are video essays.
Yeah.
Are you making fun of documentaries now and saying that there's no skill in a documentary?
I still need to get back to the Lily
No,
Orchard
but
one.
that's a very much higher class of video.
They do
creation.
research,
Of
unlike
course.
everyone else that I'm talking about.
Unlike me, who has done a lot of research on Digimon so that I can get my videos accurate. I still
Unlike
need
me.
to do a lot more research, and I still need to add a lot more things that I accidentally missed because there was so much garbage that I had to, well, not garbage, but there was so much just stuff that I had to sift through that some of it fell through the cracks, and I don't know how to add it in.
Okay, Yugok says, A Real Pain is a comedy/drama by Jesse Eisenberg about two cousins of Polish/Jewish descent going on a trip to Poland after their grandma's death. Interesting. Okay.
Interesting.
Isa says, oh
Jinx
god,
on me,
I
so.
listen to a lot of video essays while playing games. This feels like good stuff to listen to on this. They feel like good stuff. Yeah, it's good stuff to listen to on the side.
Yes.
And then someone says, are you making fun of the History Channel documentaries? Back when History Channel was the GOAT? No, I would never make fun of them. And like, obviously they were always hit or miss, but like, not always, but
they're nowhere near where they are now.
Yeah. Nowadays, there's a lot of documentaries that are hit or miss. Back then, I could turn on the History Channel and know I was about to fucking learn about something cool during World War II or World War I or some kind of weird super weapon, like, or the Vietnam War. I was going to learn. I was going to be learning, motherfucker, and it was going to be great. But yeah, it's just disgusting that I use that word a lot. It feels like you're missing the point here, buddy. Please reorient your thought process on this. But you know what? Let's see where you're going on this.
I mean, I'll give this guy the benefit of the doubt that he could just be leading on into an introduction in order to break it down. But who knows how this video is going to go for the next 19 minutes.
You never watched History Channel? You should, if you can ever find any of the gold ones, the golden era stuff from like the early thousands. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't such a never-ending stream of choices and content out there that you weren't paralyzed over what to and what not to engage with. You just watched the thing you like and felt satisfied about being done with it. In 2005, America...
No, because again, we go back to the whole discussion on the monoculture.
Hold on.
Oftentimes, you would be kind of funneled into what to watch. You typically had to go outside of and find new stuff if you were even interested in that. Most people just kind of fell into what they were interested in because that was what was popular at the time. And while that's still very much the case now, it's to a much lesser extent, and people are, again, diffusing. Like, what's popular is a much broader topic now. The guy is quiet. Hey, Twy, what do you think of Digimon Tamers? I love the horror in it. We have a very high opinion of Tamers. Or at least I know I do. I think she does as well.
I have a high opinion of Tamers.
Anyone want to watch the Minecraft movie? You know what? It might make good content, but I don't want to. I really don't want to.
I mean, I'm not a Minecrafter or whatever you guys are called.
I mean, I love Minecraft, but that movie looks atrocious. Been listening to our history-related. Drakman's entire channel consists of video essays discussing real world. Yeah, no, I'm listening to what is it? The I can pull it up. The Everything History podcast. Where is it? Here we go. The History of Everything podcast. He's a guy that does coverage of just about everything. You see him in YouTube Shorts a lot. Absolutely Chad dude when he discusses, like, the one that I have pulled up right now is how the cartels took over Mexico. Like, which, like, he's willing to go into, like, really difficult subject matter like that, and he usually is very tactful about it. I've always wanted to go on one of his tours that he hosts, but, you know, I never have the liquid capital or the time, so... Are my co-hosts still here? Okay, Kai is back. Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm here.
American psychologist Barry Schwartz did this TED Talk on the paradox of choice that has aged like a fine wine. In it, he talks about the experience of going into a clothes shop to buy some new jeans and being completely blindsided by how many new choices they had. He told the guy his size and was asked if he wanted slim fit, relaxed fit, easy fit, button fly or zipper fly, boot cut or tapered, and so on. And Schwartz says he spent hours trying on new jeans, feeling increasingly paralysed by the amount of choice. Eventually, he walked out with a pair of jeans he describes as amazing, says they were some of the best he'd ever had, and he still wasn't satisfied because he couldn't stop thinking about all the other choices. How many of them would have been better? As he says, with that much choice, one of them should have been perfect, and the ones he got were good, but they weren't perfect. That is the paradox of choice. So
the irony here is that was a video essay. You are insulting this man right now.
Okay, I'm back.
Basically, are you listening to it while you walk around, or are you not able to?
No, I haven't been able to because I needed to charge my headphones.
Okay, so
gotcha.
Basically what he just established, it was like he watched this TED Talk about a guy describing about the issue of choice, the paralysis of choice, where the amount of choice, even when you walk out with what should have been perfect, you still come away feeling not satisfied. And, like, I'm sitting here, I'm like, you realize this TED Talk is an essay, dude, right?
Yeah. Essayception.
Okay, so hang on. If there's something that's supposed to be perfect, you still walk away unsatisfied because you don't have a choice? What does that mean?
No, so the idea is that there are so many choices available that there is like one thing that you come away from the store with that could have been perfect, but even though you like what you got, you're not satisfied because you feel like you haven't had all the choices yet.
You're still thinking about the choices that you could have made. It's like
Right.
I understand what he's getting at, but at the same time, it's also sort of like, yeah, and
Then-
that's always
Then just come back later and
Get more.
select
Yeah.
another choice. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yes.
I don't.
You can
I'm
have more
sorry,
than
I
one pair of jeans, buddy. That was the example.
I-
by the way.
I don't think that I've ever really had that problem because it's like, okay, but if I want to get something and I don't have the time or I don't have the money at the moment to go get that thing, even though that I've already selected something, I can just come back later and get the other thing that I didn't select. It's not a big deal.
You know what's paralyzing to me is the fact that I've been looking up more and more Gunpla kits that are awesome and look so cool, and I want them all, and I don't have the time yet. So you know what? I have something to look forward to. I can get them later.
There is no paralysis of choice. There's the promise.
There's a paralysis of my
more
wallet.
choices. Yeah.
And my time. Ugok says, I can't listen to just a movie at work. And then someone followed up with that they heard Netflix purposely makes their movies simple so people looking at something else could follow the plot. I remember that going around.
I remember
that's
that.
a completely
Jesus
different
Christ.
conversation.
And I'm not even sure if that's even true or if that was just a rumor. Because I've heard that it was just a rumor.
Celtic, I forgot to mention this. We're giving us season 2 of our favorite lesbian witch and dragon couple. You know what series I'm talking about. She's been hunting those slimes for over 1,000. Oh, wait! Oh, I was going to say, like, Dragon Maid. No, they already had season 2 of Dragon Maid. There's a movie coming out this summer.
Yeah.
But no, you're talking about My Next Life, 300 Years Killing Slimes. They're making a season 2 of that? Oh god, that's not gonna be good. Unfortunately, I love that show. It's very wholesome and basic. It's not very complicated, but like, man, it already had a budget anime feel. It's gonna be worse for the season 2.
Oh dear.
I'll watch it because it's cute, but I fear for it. Liquid capital, as in like money, dude. That's what. If you have money to spend, it's called liquid capital.
I want to get back to my question about new movies, new video games, new albums. Why do I emphasize the new part? Because I want you to think about how many new things you've engaged with in the age of the video essay.
Do you
just absorb?
Do you mean like new as in brand new or new as in you've never experienced it before? Because I can tell you, are you spoiled for choice and have this paralyzation for when you have Spotify? Because I've listened to more new songs on Spotify than I ever did when I had to buy my CDs or I guess go on LimeWire or
also,
Napster.
This guy and the TED Talk do get paralysis of choice wrong because like they're using it to describe this phenomenon when that's not the case at all. Paralysis of choice means you cannot pick one.
Yeah.
Liquid capital.
I used to
end up picking one.
I used to get paralysis of choice more before I went onto the internet because I would go to my video store and I would spend literally a half an hour picking between movies and what to bring home that week, and my mom always got mad at me.
Sean, thank you. Thank you for referencing Latinum. It's like, oh no, all the Latinum's been taken out. All that's left over is this useless gold. One of the best lines in Star Trek.
Using this guy as a simulacrum of the video essayist I'm talking about because I don't want to be a dick and show footage of specific people, even if they're good examples, because that might imply that I think they're bad and don't respect them when that is not necessarily the case. Dude, you literally said that their work is not impressive or less impressive.
And there is a way to have done this by couching your language and being careful with this just means that you don't have faith in your ability to explain yourself thoroughly. And like, so far, one problem is you haven't acknowledged the positives that come out of video essays. You've just talked about them as a problem when you're ignoring that people flock to them for a reason because they actually benefit from them in some way.
The irony that this guy created a video essay that's not very good, whining about video essays that are not very good.
Yeah, and now because you're doing the tried and true bad video essay strategy of shadowboxing. Let's get ready to rumble.
Izanagi says, is this guy arguing that video essays and analysis of media will result in people becoming insular and not creating? The fuck? This seems very much bad for discourse. Yes!
Absolutely,
this is a common mindset that people have on the internet because now this is my speculation, but what I think it's a level of projection from them in that if they feel that if they're criticized, they lose their morale in order to work on something. They are not hardened enough to withstand criticism of their work and either analyze it objectively or move forward and with whatever they're doing without, heeding the criticism. Like there's different ways to approach criticism, but I think a lot of people who are not used to it, which is a majority of people who just kind of breeze through life, they will fold under criticism. They don't like the feeling, and it doesn't feel good to be criticized, but you gotta grow a spine to be a creative.
I was about to say, put some hair on your balls, dude. Like, that's just how his shit works. Like, you can't expect for people to, number one, like your work, and number two, want to pick it apart and see how it works, even if it's ultimately not that bad or anything like that. And also, by not acknowledging or showcasing, visual examples of video essays on YouTube that you're talking about, you're just going to leave your audience lost, because who specifically are you going to freaking is going to be like the key examples here?
But yeah, it's like it goes like someone also mentioned here, the perfectionist will spend a lot of time and become so emotionally invested effectively. Miss Float said something along this line. That they basically it would be an attack on their baby. And it's like, that's another reason people don't like criticism. Like you'll get different directions on this. But typically it's because people don't like the feeling of being criticized because it gives you negative feedback. And you don't like that, and thus they will lash out at other people criticizing other people because they feel like, well, at some point this might turn around on me, or I want to spare someone else the feelings that I would feel in that circumstance. Basically, it's a bunch of people getting insulted on behalf of other people. That's a lot of what this is.
Yeah, it's virtue signaling.
I really don't understand it because I get anxious when I don't get picked apart. Like, even with my videos, let alone my writing, like, I get this feeling of people aren't paying attention, or people are lying to me even when they don't pick apart something in my work, especially in my writing, because I feel like there is so much that I can improve on, even though that I might not know how to improve. So I'm looking to other people to tell me what direction to go in. And if they don't tell me, if they just say, oh, your work is great, I love it, it's perfect, and then they don't say anything negative about it, I get this feeling of like desperation. I need criticism.
I'm going to leave you guys in control of the video. Right. I'll be right back. I'm going to say happy birthday.
Sure.
All right, sure thing. But yeah, like, I get that. I kind of feel this very similar way in regards to my videos, which is why, I often ask you guys to, like, give your thoughts about how it's written, blah, blah, blah. I guess what I have come to realize, especially since we started this whole thing is in just looking at the subgenre, I guess, of YouTubers criticizing other YouTubers, is that most people are not like that.
Yeah.
They do not have the freaking stones. And you know what? It's not necessarily a bad thing in some ways. However, if you're going to stick your neck out and try to make a video or several videos or whatever you're trying to do criticizing other people, you can't do it out of a sense of insecurity towards whatever creative endeavor you're going to be doing. Now, do I think that's applying to this guy? We don't know. We're 3 minutes in.
Yeah.
But it's a possibility.
The important thing that I think people need to focus on when it comes to criticism is not whether or not somebody is going to make fun of you or shit on you for your mistakes, but as a means of improving yourself and making yourself a more informed and more a better video essayist or a better critical person or a better video creator in general.
Sure.
As an opportunity to grow and learn and become better rather than just something to put you down.
Yeah, if anything, like a huge problem with a lot of the people that we tend to cover is that they have a lot of they got a lot of yes men. They have a lot of people that are willing to just blow smoke up their ass and say, oh yeah, this video is so good, because they ultimately agree with the conclusion without actually vetting as to whether or not it maps onto reality.
Yeah.
He's not home yet, so I came back.
Oh,
all right,
okay.
Sweet.
Well, I was just about to start the video again, but
Perfect.
You're back now.
Absorb the plots and beats or general consensus of these things in much less time than it takes to actually experience them yourself? If you're an enthusiast in one of these things, then sure, your answer is probably that you've engaged with more of these things than video essays about them, but for a lot of you, hell, even for most of you, I'd be willing to bet that it's the other way around, because the paradox of choice keeps you paralyzed. Sure, you could spend 80 hours playing the new Yakuza game, or you could just fire up some 90-minute YouTube video where a guy tells you what it's like and everything that happens in it. And sure, you miss out on all the intricacies and details, all the quiet little moments in between, all the important emotions you go through by engaging with someone else's work, but now you're up to speed.
Okay, first of all,
What?
he is completely ignoring one of the other things that people often do with games in particular, such as Let's Plays. And you know why I watch Let's Plays? It's like someone's playing a video game in the room and they are incredibly talented. It's like having your very funny friend over playing a video game with you. Like there's an experience there that you can live vicariously through when you may not otherwise be able to. And in that, you can experience them experiencing different things. I just ran through all of EFAP playing through the Resident Evil 4 remake because I wanted to see their reactions to some of the changes that were made on the fly, as opposed to just hearing about it post hoc during their live stream. And you know what? I have sunk at least 30 hours into Resident Evil 4 remake. So, dude, what are you...
Yeah, what the fuck? You heavily underestimate the level of freaking investment people have to things they're interested in. Like,
Also,
people don't just watch a video about something they like and then just leave it there. They play that thing or read whatever they want to.
Yeah, also, like, you're ignoring the people like me who like learning about other people's opinion on the things that they like. Like,
That
you
too.
don't know whether or not I have played Yakuza. I haven't. But if I had, I would want to watch video essays on it because I want to know other people's opinion on it, not just my own.
Yeah. Yeah, I've literally sunk like probably the original version of like probably like 100 hours of the original version of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep for the PS freaking P that I still have, by the way, like years and years and years ago. But I'm still willing to watch this. It actually blows me away that there's a video essay out there that says that the game is bad, and I was interested in their take on why they believe it's bad, especially game
that showed
mechanic
up on my
wise.
feed too. I haven't watched
Are
it
we
yet.
thinking the same one?
Yeah, probably, because I got kind of mad and I was like, okay, I gotta be in a mood to watch this.
Maybe we should add that to the list.
Dude, it's we might have to be like a multi-parter though.
I was gonna say while I myself have not played it in a long time, I did complete it on the PSP. I didn't get the
Right.
full secret endings, but that's because my PSP was stolen before I could finish the game.
Oh yeah.
I had to watch the rest of it on YouTube. But yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed the game, so I'd be curious what people thought about it in that way. Yugok says, I'm sorry, but choosing an essay about a thing over the thing itself is not a paradox of choice. Here's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
You know what's great? I watched an essay from Mandalore Gaming on a little game called Fear. And you know what it did? It compelled me to pick up the game Fear on GOG. And it became one of my favorite games of all time. I watched a video essay talking about the Thief games. And you know what I did? I picked up Thief 1 through 3. And I played through Thief 1 through 2. And then stopped on 3 because 3 is janky as hell and I wasn't having fun. Unfortunately, it just runs like ass on PC. But you know what? Fucking fantastic games! I love them to death! So it's almost as if video essays can bring out and interest people in things that they would otherwise have had no interest in. I mean, I didn't know I would be interested in a fucking stealing simulator, but, you know, next thing you know, I'm dangling from a rope over a precariously paced altar trying to destroy an unbelievable eldritch being with a fucking fake idol. Like, it's awesome.
And we wouldn't be able to have these experiences without being able to have a preview of these experiences that we would otherwise have no knowledge of, because you're not guaranteed to have seen a trailer for this thing, for this movie or for this video game, but you can see a video essay on it. And like, I think that I've branched out a lot more in my tastes and what I watch and what I play simply because of things like video essays and other people talking about it, rather than me not having a paralysis of choice. I know that I pronounced that wrong, whatever.
Babel.
I know. I'm just gonna go right through it. Just I'm not paralyzed for choice because I can watch something and determine that I am now interested in it, and maybe when I have some extra money, I can go buy that thing. I would have never actually gotten into farming sims like Story of Seasons or even Rune Factory if it hadn't been for watching people play it. It's just, there's no difference between watching somebody play it in person in real life and watching a video essay on it, because it's basically the same thing.
Kalzik, did you play Fear 2? What do you think of the ending? I have not played Fear 2 because it doesn't seem to have anything that I wanted from the original Fear that I liked about it. It took a lot of stuff away. And the ending, I think, is conceptually fine, but the execution, like a lot of things in Fear 2, is a mess. So,
but like freaking I every so often, you know, I get notifications of from my comment section of my first World Trigger video of people basically saying, yo, I never heard of this show before, but this shit is freaking heat. I'm gonna go watch it. Or I get freaking callbacks of people who have freaking watched it and say that they absolutely love it. They say this shit is underrated.
Oh my god, I get people in my comment section on my Lily video asking about different anime that I've shown for a couple of seconds because maybe I've talked about it, or I've shown it on and now they've become interested in it because they've never seen it or heard about it before. Like, it can even be something as simple as that. As long as you are showing somebody something, they can become interested in it enough to try it for themselves.
Yes.
Is the guy spouting BS so far? Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Warning,
I'm very sad because I was...
alert.
I'm very sad because I was hoping that we would actually... I mean, we're still having a very good conversation about the topic of this video, but I was hoping that we would...
We're doing it in spite of this video, not because...
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that we would agree with it more.
Yeah.
Number one rival says, Kaiser introduced me to the series. Go watch World Trigger. It's good. True. Thank you, number one rival.
It is on our list to watch.
Yeah, I remember you added it.
Because of Kaiser, so yeah.
Also watch Shangri-La Frontier. It's awesome. Anyway.
Yes, 110%. That show deserves more love.
You're not in the dark anymore. You can be part of the conversation. You can engage in discourse. My favourite. And I'm not saying that this is always a bad choice. It is often completely valid to skip a piece of media and just get the Cliff Notes version. What, you think I'm going to do the mental gymnastics required to understand the lore of the crazy screamy guy I just killed in Dark Souls 3? Fuck no. I'm going to let Vati Vidya explain that shit to me. He's got a lovely voice. But we have...
Okay, wait.
No, but that's different.
How is that different?
That is so freaking different. That is not like looking at a video talking about the whole of fucking Dark Souls. That's you watching a video tackling a specific subject in it that isn't even like Dark Souls is very
esoteric.
What's the word? They're kind of esoteric with their storytelling. You don't even get really most of the details of any enemies you fight or kill anyways. So actually watching a dedicated video essay on the subject is more often than not a good idea.
Well, I was gonna say, like, speaking of Shangri-La Frontier, Belak is best girl. Yeah, her and Anomalia. Anyway,
yes.
But I was gonna say, like, but what makes it different? Like, how is that different from the other essays you've been describing thus far? What's the qualifier? Why does that? Why does Vati get a pass, but no one else does? Like, is it because you played the Dark Souls games and you wanted someone to catch you up? Like, why didn't you go into the in-depth? Why didn't you read every single item description? Why didn't you find all the different hidden pieces of architecture that indicate something or not? It's wait, we only have 4 minutes in the video. It's only 4 minutes can spark interesting discussions. Yes, that's what's great about this kind of stuff. You can get some great discussions out of it.
Yeah, what I'm guessing where this guy is going to go is that there are people that are going to essentially like try to watch a video essay and then become posers by saying, now I know everything about this work and I can talk about it with other people online. And then they put their foot in their mouths when they clearly didn't know anything about it truly, which, yeah, that does happen. But like, if that's the route you're going, dog, that's not the fault of video essays becoming easier. That's the result of people, especially a lot of audiences, becoming lazier.
Have gotten far too comfortable shitting on actual creatives and lionizing the people who don't actually make anything, who instead just sit there and criticize their work. Criticism is valid
you fucking
and
serious?
important. It's also easy. Video essays are easy.
Okay, I know you're gonna qualify this later. At least I hope you fucking are. But no, it is not. It is definitely not.
No, it's really not.
As someone who almost had a mental breakdown over fixing Ruby Volume 7, which means going in, figuring out what every single problem is in Volume 7, deciding whether or not to rip out whole sections of the volume or otherwise just tweak things on a smaller scale in order to try and repair them in some functional way, it is not easy. It is not. Now, if all you're saying is, oh, no, Ruby is bad, and that's like the 30-second video is just you saying Ruby is bad, it's shit, all the characters...
Like a 10-minute overview thing, then like, sure, whatever.
That's
different
definitely...
from, like...
Well, I would still say that's a 10-minute video still. But like, if you're not giving any kind of substance, sure, that's bad. But I wouldn't call that an essay. That's just someone rambling. An essay requires effort. An essay requires an actual amount of work put into it.
Yeah, I had to remake my entire like first version of the Bumblebee Too Little Too Late script that I made back in 2019 because I realized I, number one, sounded like an asshole back then, and number two, I have to cross-reference what I believed back then with all the new information that we have now that the shit became canon. So, I don't know.
Source? Me. I have had quite a strange career trajectory in that I got my creative writing degree at university and then went straight into YouTube. To explain my reasoning for this...
Oh, hey, buddy, we did the exact same thing.
Holy shit.
Like, it's rare that I hear someone actually has specifically a creative writing degree, because I have an English degree with a focus in creative writing, so we have effectively the same degree.
All right.
Interesting.
In full would be to make my own 40-minute Vati Vidya style lore video on my own real life, which I'm not going to do. And instead,
Because that would be
work your way
very
through my
narcissistic of you.
Well, yeah, and people would, probably not flock to that because I don't know how much of a draw you are for your channel as an individual.
Yeah.
entire 5-year backlog of videos and piece together my personal history from those. But when I was going through academia, and in fact when I first made the decision to pursue this degree, I heard the same thing over and over again, that my creative writing degree would be useless in getting me a job. And let me tell you, my creative writing degree has felt far more useless on YouTube than anywhere else. Every time I've tried to get creative, actually spent a week or longer on the writing process, the video has underperformed. And whenever I do a video essay or any video just very overtly sharing an opinion, it actually helps pay my bills. There are obvious...
Okay.
Sounds like a you problem, my dude.
Yeah, immediately
real,
you have just outed yourself here, buddy.
Yeah.
Like,
congratulations, you played yourself.
Untested IPs? Shocker, people approach with trepidation because they're not sure.
Yeah.
Video essays are safe in many regards because they are covering topics people are already familiar with. It's not that people are actually entering, typically speaking, people, Kaiser mentioned this, people are familiar with the things they're watching an essay on. They are typically attracted to things they are familiar with. As someone who struggles a lot to read original writing, and I read mostly fan fiction, there is an inherent comfort when you're attracted to something that you are intimately already familiar with. There is that familiarity is like a home. So when you're stepping out into a new thing, yeah, sure, you can add that to your home, or maybe it doesn't really give you anything, you discard it. Hi, Eureka 7AO. So you're complaining about your own failings here. You got to put more work into advertising your original works. You can't just throw it on YouTube and expect it to succeed. You got to actually promote it in some way.
Absolutely not. Yeah, nobody's gonna have the freaking Vibsy Pop success story.
And like, why are you focusing so much? Like, I get that this is your job, probably. I have no idea who you are or what you do, but it sounds like you've just made YouTube your career. But why are you betting on these projects in particular that you're doing because you're passionate about them and expecting that they need to make as much money as your other content? Why can't you just do them because you're passionate about them? And if they don't get as many views, well, then that doesn't matter because at least some people have watched them. Like, I never expected my Digimon video to get more than 1,000 views. 1,000 views for me was amazing.
No, like, legitimately, I reconcile when I made my World Trigger video. I'm going to keep mentioning it because it's very important and I'm very proud of it. And I have the right to, because I was fully reconciling the fact that that was not going to get more than probably 10K views, if that. The fact that it became the most popular video on my channel over the course of a whole year, even with the added benefit that, like, oh yeah, World Trigger got put on Netflix around that time. The fact that my video was still on people's radar, as small of a channel as I am, that's a blessing. Mm-hmm. I thank God I actually managed to add something to the conversation surrounding this series and pull people to freaking enjoy it.
I'm reminded of the art meme of a new guy quitting art because not safe for work stuff was more popular than his OC art, which it logically follows. If you apply to the baser instincts of humanity, you will get more views, which means obviously sexual. There's the food aspect, which goes to a lot of food advertising. But then there's also familiarity. That's a big one that people kind of overlook, is that when people are familiar with a product, it's the reason why we have brand loyalty and shit like that exists because people are attracted to familiarity. And
it also goes with just the quality of your work as well, or how well it is at like pulling people.
Obviously, video essayists who are very impressive in what they do, whose research and editing and presentation is clearly a cut above the rest, who actually have something to say and who display some level of creativity and, I don't know, skills. And some, I assume, are good people. But mostly, all we do on YouTube right now is react to things other people have made, both in the literal sense and in the figurative sense.
That's what we've always done.
Yeah,
We
and
have
it's
always
what
done
the
that as a
fuck?
society.
It's also a different conversation. Reactions are not essays. Why are you suddenly pulling up
they're not.
streaming into this conversation like this?
I think what he's trying to say is that okay, people are more drawn to watching somebody else's opinion about something than actually going out and having an informed one themselves. But like
People
that's
have always
always
done
been the
that.
thing.
It would just
Congratulations.
It was much more like condensed. We'd always have newspapers or news channels we flocked to, or the town crier we would flock to, that sort of shit.
Or
Right.
like it goes even back to ancient Greece, where there were people that were criticizing other people's plays and dissecting them and making fun of them and creating plays of their own in response to those plays. Like, this shit is ancient.
Yes.
Yes.
There was probably a caveman that looked at the drawings and went, "Ugh, no draw bison right. Bison no have 5 legs."
Actually, that is true, because there are a
Oh
lot
my
of
God.
cave drawings out there that aren't as good as other ones, and they suspect that it's like cavemen teaching each other how to draw and how to draw things better. But who knows?
Dude.
It could be that there was criticism involved with that. We don't know.
When
Dude,
humans,
the tales of Unga and Bunga have
Yeah.
transcended history.
the humans, when we are not busy fighting for our survival or doing work, we will create shit and then criticize other people creating shit. That's just
Yes.
natural
Yeah.
to us.
That is human nature. Yeah.
To remember what a video essay is, it's just an opinion. It's just you stating your case. on
No
something.
fucking
We put-
shit. Are you freaking No,
Now-
I'm so sick of this. I am so sick of people pointing out the bleedingly fucking obvious when it comes to this shit. No shit, it's a freaking opinion. But you know what? There's a thing as an informed opinion and an
Yes.
uninformed one.
You can,
So
you
people
can
will
back up
naturally
your
flock to the
opinion
ones that
with
are
evidence.
Yes. If somebody is, which video would you rather watch? Okay, the video actually, what was it? Detailing the fight choreography of, say, a Jackie Chan film, or the video essay that says that Jackie Chan wasn't even in the movie. I wonder which one has the more informed opinion.
Yeah.
Put on pedestals people who literally just share their opinions on the internet. Often those opinions deriding the work
That's
of those
literally
who are
what all
far more-
critique and video essays and everything is. Even if you do it as a profession, even if you're like fucking Roger Ebert, you're just sharing your opinion.
Yeah. And if people put those people on a pedestal, that's not the essayist's fault. That's the audience's fault. They don't scrutinize the people that they watch.
Thoughts on Invincible season 3? Well, I don't want to influence you with my opinion. But no, for the record, I have not touched Invincible. I've looked at it from the side eye through like occasional like YouTube shorts and such, but I really don't have much interest in it.
But okay. Personally, I've seen the show and I love it.
I know
it's
a
the
lot of
be-
people
one
love
of
it,
the
and
best
I can
seasons so far.
appreciate what I've heard about it, but like it doesn't interest me.
No,
Yeah.
Raymond, you're just paralyzed by choice.
Yeah, just like
You
how
would
Invincible
actually
gets
watch Invincible if you weren't spoiled for choice.
Yeah, it just like how Invincible himself gets paralyzed every other episode. Or a better example, Manga Common and Yu-Gi-Oh! Versus Lily Orchard and Steven Universe. Yes.
on something. We put on pedestals people who literally just share their opinions on the internet, often those opinions deriding the work of those who are far more creative and skilled than them. Just a quick aside here.
Do you know
Obviously,
why?
Video essay is a pretty nebulous
Do
term.
you do you know why people put other people on pedestals for having the it's because they have the bravery and the means of being able to compose their own thoughts in order to put it out there on the internet for other people to look at and criticize. Like, a lot of people can't formulate their own thoughts into a coherent fashion in order to explain their likes to other people. James, the guest that we had the last time that we had a guest on, he's one of those people. He fully admits that. Like, he told me that he struggles saying why he likes or doesn't like or has problems with a show that he watches. He just experiences those emotions. He can't articulate them. So people go to these other people because they can voice the things that they struggle to articulate.
Yeah, it's like that's like that. There's that element of it. There's people that are very well informed. They have specialties sometimes where their opinions might be actually elevated in some way, shape, or form because they have unique experiences that help them actually better understand the topic at question. Buddy, maybe you've been so like I have been writing for so long that I struggle to actually understand what that's like. But I know at some point I struggled to actually convey my opinions. I vaguely remember that period of time. You might have lost sight of it, but a lot of people are still in that moment of their life. A lot of people don't evolve beyond that. They just accept things as they are and walk along and silently accept it. Like they just, it's unfortunate, but there's a lot of people that, like, if they can get up there and express themselves, they might be able to help people resonate. And you know what that also does? It spurs other people on to start formulating their own opinions in a more constrained way, because sometimes they'll be like, wow, I really like what this person is saying about X product, but I feel like there's something else there that I'm not quite clicking with. Maybe I'll do some searching on it.
Exactly. Like, how many times ever since starting this freaking podcast have we had people saying that we inspired them with their own creative works?
Yeah.
Yes. And I love it.
How many fucking times? And also, dude, Fudge, you're vague posting again. I have to keep calling foul on the shadow boxing until you stop fucking doing it. Who is this creator, this creative person on YouTube out there that is I don't know, super underrated in your eyes, where he's freaking video essayist?
Hi, it's him. He told us outright it's him.
Yeah, he did. He really did.
All of this, it's all me.
You guys are very encouraging with having people work on their own projects, myself included. Thank you, and keep up the great work. Thank you guys. I mean, you guys.
Thank you. Honestly, this is really fun. Thanks to you guys just giving us your support. Really appreciate it.
How long has this podcast been going on? Because I feel like it's been like a year and a half.
It's been a year and 3 months.
Yeah, a year and a half.
A year and 3 months.
We literally started like the start of January, so.
Oh yeah.
It's actually very easy to keep track of.
There are many that are just stories about or deep dives into history or real events. These ones require a lot of strenuous research. I wouldn't exactly
there you go.
Creative, but they don't need to be. They're generally
My
pretty
video
impressive,
essays took
and
a lot of
they ask
research
quite a lot of
too,
the creator
assholes.
when they're not plagiarized. I'm not really talking about these kinds of videos. I'm talking about what Joker 2 gets wrong about rooftops. You know the ones.
Dude, I freaking precog this.
Yeah, no,
110%.
Remember, we asked about it, like, do documentaries qualify for this criticism? Like, are you bashing them? And now you finally clarified it 6 minutes in. You are a fourth of the way through the video, and you're only now qualifying this. Now, it's not the latest you could be doing it. We have seen worse examples of people excising entire groups.
To be fair.
But it's still, you could have done it sooner, where you actually narrowed in the scope on, like, you know, entertainment essays, that sort of stuff. So is this guy a bad person? No, I think he's just...
No.
I think he's letting his emotions guide him.
Yeah, I think he's
he's
just a
bad
bit
at
of a
his
whiny
job.
baby, but like
Yeah.
he's not a bad person because of it. He's just
Yeah, absolutely
being
not.
a bit of a hypocrite because he's doing the thing that he's complaining about and just kind of going off the cuff and whining about things that upset him.
Yes.
Which is he's upset about people whining about things that upset them.
But hey, at least this kind of proves how actually difficult it can be to make a video essay.
And hey, what if Joker 2 did fuck up with rooftops?
Maybe.
You know what?
Maybe they did.
It's fascinating to learn this kind of stuff because you wouldn't think about it. Because, like, you don't realize how much about the world that you don't know until somebody who is an expert in that niche thing talks about it in the context of this movie or TV show. And then you can walk away a more informed person and find the video or the movie or the TV show a lot more interesting because of it.
When you learn more about even a niche subject like rooftops as a result of that, like, I like incorporating the little details that you wouldn't normally think about in a setting's location as part of the actual storytelling. So characters, especially when like during a fight, I love the Jackie Chan style fights where there's like, he is grabbing everything in the environment to slam it over people's heads or throw them into walls or what have you, flipping chairs, tables, weird little bits of cutlery. Like he's using everything he has at his disposal to fight his opponents. And I find that far more interesting because it feels the entire world, it makes it feel more lived in. Die Hard would not be the same as if they just had a rope at the top of Nakatomi Plaza that John grabbed and jumped off the roof with. No, he used a fire hose that they would naturally have at the top of a building for fires. Like, that's a whole really cool detail, and it led to an incredible action sequence. Like, it's a small detail, but what if Joker just isn't utilizing that shit right? I don't know.
Yeah, I have my own example. There's a scene in my novel. It's a very short scene because I didn't want to go into detail about it because writers can often go off into La La Land with their research and stuff. But there is a scene where my characters had to do laundry, and I'm like, how did people do laundry in the medieval period and prior to the medieval period? So I did my research, and then for like a month straight, I was obsessed with making soap. And I was thinking, I was thinking that I would even like utilize my knowledge of making soap to promote my novel once I finish writing it and I can get it published, and I can like send out copies of books to people with little promo packs with soap in them.
Yugok says he's not bad, he's just confused. Very confused. Yes. Well, I don't know. There might be some bad faith in here. It just feels like he's coming from a poisoned tree right now.
Yeah.
Saying we shouldn't criticize people's art just because they are art, because some of it is bad art, and criticism makes things better. I'm saying we are giving these people so much attention and so much credit that media criticism is starting to feel like an industry unto itself. More of an industry than media.
Can be an industry.
It has been an industry for decades.
Yeah.
Ever since the fucking 40s, 50s, ever since plays had reviews, we called them newspapers, my friend, and they had organizations where they would critique and review things. This was an industry. It's just now opened up to a huge swath of other people that have a much bigger voice when they wouldn't have otherwise. That's all you're seeing.
It's a lot more open to regular people being able to put in their voices and not just the very few people who have the education and were lucky enough to get a job to do that. But again, like I said earlier, this has been a thing for thousands of years, going back to ancient Greece, because people made money doing critiques for plays in ancient Greece and novels and stuff like that too. It's been a thing forever.
Proverbially, this is just someone kicking the fucking log in the forest and all of the bugs skittering out. They've always been there. They just now are you can see them now that the log's gone.
Yeah.
you're making something new from the ground up, you can't really make mistakes anymore. You're under intense scrutiny from an ocean of people who couldn't make something original or inspired.
You are
shit out Lego.
You are always
wow.
criticized by the audience, no matter what. It's just now you can hear the audience complain because now the audience has a voice. How dare the audience have a voice?
And now, okay, I don't see this guy as malicious, but he's not proving his intelligence. No, now he's malicious. Because now he is passing judgment on anyone that criticizes in this way. He's saying they are. What was the exact words?
Can't really make mistakes anymore. You're under intense scrutiny from an ocean of people who couldn't make something original or inspired if they shit out Lego.
Also, that's not true.
Yeah, it's exactly
because Pokemon for the last couple of generations has been garbage. But because Pokemon is a beloved franchise, you can have a game that operates like shit, and people will still buy it, and it will be the most widely bought game of the entire franchise.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Disney.
Yeah, but absolutely. This guy is just like, oh, no, because anyone that does video essay work is not creative enough. They don't have that creativity. They can't create an original thought. It's like, fuck you. What do you take of me? What do you take of me, motherfucker? I would love to know your analysis of me because I do critical essays, I do reconstructive essays, and I also do all of my own original work, including a freaking animatic series that I'm working on, my own novels, my own tabletop game, my own the tabletop games that I'm running for different systems that I'm not building my own. Like, I have a bunch of shit that I can do, my friend, and you're now saying that I'm not capable of it because I do video criticism. Fuck you!
I mean, I guess that he would probably argue that you're the exception that proves the rule. But, like, even aside from that, like, what he said about, oh, I'm afraid that we are putting video media analysis on a pedestal and having that be its own industry. Setting aside that it has been forever, why shouldn't it? I'm sorry, motherfucker. I spent so much time sitting the frick down trying to, learn how to convey my words in a way that is actually, like, cohesive and additive to the conversation, putting limits to myself and how I engage my content, learning how to freaking edit on my own. Almost every single freaking video I have on my channel, I edited my goddamn self, including the audio. Talking to people about thumbnails, getting other people's understanding and takes on media in general and storytelling, and adding that to my repertoire. I deserve a freaking $1 or $2, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, like, any kind of media essay, as long as it's not just somebody talking into a microphone and then putting in someone else's footage of playing, like, Fortnite or whatever, and just slapping that onto YouTube, that requires effort.
Yeah, it's a creative work in and of itself. You're just not valuing it the way it needs to be valued.
Mm-hmm.
Ed Savinsky, Ancient Greek Review. That satyr play didn't have enough boner jokes. You joke?
I know,
that
right?
was probably a serious critique at some point.
Yes, because the satyrs were all about having boners, because satyrs were actually half, like centaurs, half human, half horse. Fawns were the goat ones. It's just that at some point, fawns and satyrs became kind of the same creature.
I'm thinking of Lyamnestra right now. Is it Lyamnestra? I'm trying to remember the exact name of it. Basically, the entire play, all the characters are running around wearing giant inflated genitals.
Yeah. There's pottery about, like, satyrs and playing with their dicks and stuff like that. I mean, there's actual pottery for it.
There's that one poor guy at Pompeii. We all know him.
While we're on the term essay, by the way, I speak as someone who went through the university system in a literary degree when I say that an essay is not just something you typically fart out every week. It's something that whole modules and terms build up to, that you spend weeks immersing yourself in research.
Not necessarily, dumbass. I could pop out an essay within 5 minutes if I needed to.
I was about to say, what's the page count, buddy? What's the page
also,
count?
my dude, you don't know somebody's work schedule. That essay that had come out this week, that came out only a week after the last one, that one could have been in production for months prior. And that this person has such a schedule that they have many videos in the works that come out sequentially that don't come out just because it's finished. It gets put into a backlog.
I was going to say,
you don't know.
Grade school, the 5-paragraph essay. You learn about it in 4th, 5th grade? It's the most basic format of an essay. An essay is just it's just a written expression of basically it's a written conversation, effectively. You're trying to explain a point to someone. That's all you're doing. It's not that hard. It's not that... You're trying to make it some formal thing because you're pissed that people aren't paying attention to your original work. You're trying to sound highfalutin right now. Okay, I'm going to let you finish your point, obviously. But my God, the fact that you're starting to invoke that college training... somehow the essays need a fucking creative writing degree? Fuck off, dude.
Yeah, it gives me freaking I'm as a writer myself kind of energy, you know?
It's worse than that. This is an appeal to authority.
It's not just something you typically fart out every week. It's something that whole modules and terms build up to, that you spend weeks immersing yourself in research and texts to prepare yourself for. H-Bomber Guy, one of the video essayists who I think is actually smart and interesting and has things to say, recently put out a video, I'm sure you've seen it, where he exposes plagiarists. Notice how a lot of these plagiarists, Illuminati and the like, were the weekly video essay types. That's because a weekly video essay is bullshit. You write an essay when you have something to say.
Okay, but now you're also ignoring that the most criticized part of that video was frickin' internet historian.
And a historian.
Who had a fair controversy, mind you, but he's not anywhere near a weekly production guy. Also, someone asking if college is worth it. If you're going to a science or engineering or something very much with a stable career path, yes. If you're going into something like the arts, you really got to know what you're doing. It's one of those hit or miss type deals really badly. You got Sater mentioned reminder about one arc of Monster Musume ending with the MC leaving behind a farm turned lesbian den. Yes, that was a good arc.
Jesus. But and also a weekly video essay is bullshit. And it's why? What's bullshit about it? A person has something to say. They, debatably do some kind of research onto a subject. And like Twilight said, they probably had thought about these videos ideas for months and months and months and have been in production of these things for ages. So, of course, they would be putting these things out.
What do you think of the Game Theory channel? What do you think of the Theorist channels?
Oh, that's true.
They have a bunch of different writers working around the clock. They have a whole team. Are you accounting for the fact that YouTubers can have teams of people doing work with them? Can you? Yeah. There's a whole list of this. I'm just what is your qualification here, motherfucker?
Okay, so I had to go again because my grandpa's TV just does not want to start back up, and we've always struggled to get it whenever we've had internet issues. But I can see Illuminati's channel on the screen here, and oh boy.
Yeah. Oh, it's the H-Bomber guy cover.
Yeah. He's trying to equate, I'm assuming, based off of me having to leave, that he's going to equate all people who have a regular schedule of putting out video essays every week to being someone like Illuminati who has done plagiarism. And
Yeah,
which is just ridiculous.
Izanagi says, "Dear Lord, I'm not one to talk given my love of folding ideas, but oh my god, this guy is pissing me off. I value education, but I still want open discourse." Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Fies, yeah, I did get jump scared. I got jump scared by everybody.
Make up something to say to write an essay. So I'll just say it. YouTubers who make weekly video essays, I suspect that you are all frauds. If you haven't ripped off a bunch of...
Holy shit! Well,
He just goes right out and says it.
you know what? I have to admire the honesty, but damn, dude, that's like a nuclear take.
Dude, give him a hand. Honestly, I respect.
Someone get Matt Pat on the
gusto
phone. Apparently, his entire company is fucking awful people now.
Yeah, for real, dude. Also, at least he's not vague posting anymore, so there's that.
How dare somebody have a system that makes them be able to put out a 20-minute video once a week? Because putting out 20 minutes worth of video is just so difficult. It's not like you can make that in a very short period of time.
A 10
It's
minutes.
20 minutes.
In fact, dude, you said that you did YouTube as a job, or you probably still do. I don't fucking know. I don't remember how old this video is. But you said YouTube is a job. What do you think these people are doing?
Also, I guess that means Anthony is a fraud. I mean, I dislike Anthony's videos. But Anthony is not a fraud to my knowledge. Yeah, no, Anthony.
No.
Anthony is terrifying as a workhorse. All right.
Yeah,
really
like
is.
people are naturally
quality
good
of
at
his
these
work,
things.
we obviously called into question with our coverage of his video, but
Yeah.
I do not deny that man's work ethic. He puts his nose to the fucking grindstone.
He does. It
Absolutely.
is so impressive. I am always constantly impressed by how much he can get done in such a short period of time. I could never.
Yeah, which is pretty much how he's gotten, as many subscribers and supporters in such a short span of time. Like, we're forgetting that he really started working on his channel in the past friggin' year. And he blew right past us.
Great Bar says, I think criticism for stuff can always be hit and miss, and I feel like worst people for critique are at the high point. Feels like that nerd whining about Itchy and Scratchy and Simpsons nowadays. I mean, is there something worth whining about with Itchy and Scratchy and Simpsons? I mean, I have a bone to pick with Simpsons because of what they did to Apu. Like they cut. Is he just gone from the show now? Anyway, but there are legitimate reasons to be mad at things. It's okay, guys. Like
journalists and superior writers whose work will never get the attention and acclaim you leech off them, you are almost definitely full of shit in at least 5 of your videos. Also, if you leave in footage of you pouring yourself a cup of tea or coffee and drinking it during the video, I also hate you. That one's for petty reasons. I just think you need to get over yourself.
Okay.
You're not Socrates. You've just explained the history of that so Raven for 8 hours.
And maybe
Brother,
there's value in
you
that.
have no right to talk. You have no right to freaking talk, dog. Holy shit.
Oh man, that is okay. Now, I admire the humor of that, but man, dude, that's a blowback on you.
Yeah, you have to make sure your own house is squeaky clean, buddy. Holy shit.
Oh boy.
Of course.
Also, I had to leave for a second again. Okay, so Pokemon's on the screen. Is he whining about people who...
We're transitioning topics, so...
Okay.
Aware of the irony here. I have made video essay style content for years, despite the fact that I hate referring to myself as a video essayist because I feel like the format has become so oversaturated and I'm kind of petty towards the really bad ones. It is because of this that I think I can pretty authoritatively say that they are comparatively easy. You just have an opinion and you make a video out of it.
I mean, you can, but then you wind up with videos like this where you say really stupid fucking shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like also you hate the people of low quality, but you're not really qualifying who's of high quality. You're doing a really piss poor job of disseminating between the two or differentiating between the two, and as a result, you're kind of painting a broad brush here, buddy. Also, switch to DaVinci. It's so much better. Anyway.
Most of the time, that involves either using tons of footage from the thing you're talking about, which you can just drag and drop into your video editing software, or just being on camera yourself, which is also easy,
Drake and
especially if you're
Josh?
pretty, which I'll be honest, most of us are. So if I
Okay, well, one, you can use a PNG tuber. Just look at us. We've gotten pretty good at it this time, this much.
Yep.
Although I do, put my own face occasionally on more because I am a damned handsome man. But also, like, you got to be careful with using footage from the thing that you're covering because copyright on YouTube is a very damnable beast. And also, you got to make sure what you're doing is transformative because you put that warning at the front of your video. If you're not being transformative and not careful, you're going to get into a lot of fucking trouble.
And also, you gotta make sure your editing is friggin' tight and engaging for the audience to actually fucking watch. Do you? Of course, I will pat myself on the back a little bit for a channel like myself to actually get as many subs as I have as quickly as I have, talking shit about Ruby and adding new things to the conversation surrounding it. I did pretty good.
Yeah.
However, by that same and I think a lot of that has to do with just my editing style and the effort that I put into that in my delivery and the fact that I know how Audacity works, unlike certain other people. However,
I feel personally insulted.
Every single channel that talks positively about Ruby that have died at this point, if they ever came back and started talking positively about the show again, they would surpass me in a fucking week. If they had my editing style, if they had my attention to audio, if they were anywhere near as funny as I am, they would surpass me in a fucking week. Because being positive Ruby content, opposite the popular belief, is actually pretty lucrative if you know what you're fucking doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Cinema Wins versus Cinema Sins. Like, Cinema Sins is huge. Let's see. Cinema Sins. They currently have 9.2 million subscribers.
Tickets for the in-person
Wins.
cinema events are available.
That's playing things. Cinema Wins has 2.2 million. But let's compare how long they've been around. Pause it, damn it. How long has he been around? Cinema Sins, 2012. Cinema Wins, meanwhile, 2015. 3 years of difference and a completely different culture. And view-wise, they still get about equitable views. In fact, it looks like
tickets for the
fucking, you know what, I'm gonna click away. Fucking, I'm not listening to that. Tickets, whatever, from Jeremy. But I don't care about wins. People don't care about wins. But you know what? People do care about wins. There is a positive equation to this. Sins only is popular because it was first come, first serve. So,
yeah. Also, is he basically saying that as long as you're a PNG tuber, that your videos are just automatically better because you put effort into your videos?
Possibly. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, because I put a lot of effort into my videos because I insert every single frame that Takara speaks by myself, by hand. I don't use this program in order to make my videos.
Yeah,
I put a lot of effort into my videos.
Even by that same token, you have people like freaking June the King, who does show his face in most of his stuff, but his editing is immaculate.
Or flip side of it, you have people who are not they don't really have the greatest of editing. They don't have the most amazing of presentation, but they're very well informed and very charismatic in themselves. I'm thinking of Wendigoon, who's he built it on just standing in front of a fucking whiteboard and pointing at things. That's all he did for a while.
Yeah, people have different video styles, and they're not better or worse just because they're different. You can have different production quality and different production standards, but it depends on whether or not you're growing and you're learning and you're trying to improve your craft as you make new videos, and whether or not you're just stagnate with having the ability to become better and to improve yourself, but you just don't.
What does he think about VTubers like Gargura? He's not talking about that kind of entertainment currently, although he did bring up reaction content weirdly for a moment. Remember back when I actually watched EFAP, seen Wins try to say anything good about Twilight? Yeah, definitely EFAP's coverage of comparing Cinema Sins to Cinema Wins was fascinating and really highlighted the failings of both. They're both awful. Boys, you're both awful.
I dislike this quote-unquote format so much. Why have I used it so often? Well, because it's the only thing any of you motherfuckers will watch. Now I get an excuse to plug something really.
Okay.
Wow.
No.
Okay, blaming the audience now.
That is
Holy
okay.
shit.
I get you wanted that to come off as a joke, but that is a bold fucking joke to make, and you got to be really self-deprecating in order to make up for it. I don't get the feeling that you're going to be.
Also, I'm gonna be completely honest. You're just telling on yourself again. You're not good at your job. If you can't get people to watch no, I'm dead freaking serious. I don't care. Every other goddamn day, I see a Ruby animation thing or some kind of animated thing or a comic dub or something like that gets way more views than anything I have ever made. Fuck off with this shit.
Yeah.
Is not if you have bad advertising, if you don't do things to keep your community engaged, then obviously people are not going to watch your content all that much when you go in a different direction. In fact, it's why I didn't pigeon my whole fuck. It's why I didn't pigeonhole myself to just talking about Ruby. I made that decision early on to talk about other things so that when I don't bully Ruby for 5 freaking minutes, y'all motherfuckers would still be engaged because it's me talking about something that I care about. And it sounds to me like you didn't do a good job of that. I'm sorry.
Says, also, I find it very weird that this video has a very similar idea to, I presume, your own. But my thought was on people wanting to be the first on scene, causing shit, research, and spreading it elsewhere. Yes, I mean that's a problem in itself. That I don't think is related to this. This is him just bitching about anyone that even does research. It's like anyone that does any kind of essay work, he's bitching about. It's not someone that is reporting on the scene of something immediately and accidentally adding misinformation. No, it doesn't matter the quality of the production. He's just bitching about the entirety of video essayists, except for the ones that he likes.
Yep.
Really quick. In case you missed it, myself and a bunch of other Hard Drive alumni who left late last year launched our own new thing, Palette Swap. We've got a site that's really cool and good, we've got socials that are really cool and good, and of course we have a YouTube channel that we're trying to raise from the ground up, which I am running, therefore cool and good. It's where all my videos are going to be now. This one on the channel is a one-off because I don't really think it fit on the Palette Swap channel.
What? So wait, was this all just a stealth ad for your new fucking service?
Ugh, gross. Disgusting.
I'm sorry, go off and join, was it fucking Nova or whatever? Go off and join those guys, alright?
Yeah, you have very little right to criticize Illuminati. Holy shit.
Wasn't it Nebula? Isn't that the one that all the different YouTubers got in on and no one actually goes to watch their videos? It's like the subscription service.
I'm actually not sure if people go on Nebula or not, but yeah. People do have their video content on Nebula.
Yeah.
Part of my strategy for getting us off the ground has been to use the video essay format. Of course, I play with it and get creative and have churned out 2 big videos so far that I'm really proud of that you should go and watch and then subscribe to us. But this was, in my estimation, from my experience.
You know what? I'm just going to screen cap these for later because I feel like this could be a good little mine for us at some point in the future.
Sure.
Also, I'm going to say it now. So you're admittedly a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Yes.
At least you admit it, and that is the first step.
I don't know.
But guys, No, but guys, it's fun. Listen, the reason why I do it is because it's the only thing my audience will watch.
Yeah, that's your fault.
Experience our only chance to hit the algorithm. We are 50% a comedy and satire site, but any video solely based on comedy would not work or hit the algorithm, especially not any kind of long form thing.
That just tells me you're not funny.
Yeah, that just tells me you're bad at
Congratulations. Congratulations, you just told me you're not funny.
Oh my god, he does have Goodell voice. Oh, he does. So Twy, because you're not big into the EFAP circles, do you know what Goodell is?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay, so Goodell is like, it's this parody series that Mahler used to release on April 1st every single year. He has since retired from it because he couldn't keep it up.
Right.
But basically, as they would recover videos on EFAP, he would write down the stupidest things that the people said, and then he would read it out as part of a cohesive quote-unquote video. And then
he does the whole video essayist voice.
The video essayist voice, which is basically what this guy's voice sounds. I'm going to talk like this and eloquate to you all these. It's basically a complete parody of all the awful video essays that go on out in the web. And this guy sounds exactly like Mahler did when he did it. And I don't think he's ever come into contact with this guy. So.
Oh wow.
He sounds like Zell. No, Zell, you would hear the microphone.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was about to say, you would hear the fan coming out from.
Also, Zell talks very, very slowly. You have to listen to that man at 1.5 speed.
Yeah.
Also, he has this faux soothing, sensual voice in order to try and get his audience engaged in what he is saying. And I'm not
he doesn't
saying
have music in the background.
Yeah, I'm not doing a very good impression of Zell. For one thing, I'm a woman, and for another thing, I probably actually sound attractive.
I don't know.
If I try
have you
to
asked
do that.
his pronouns? Maybe he is. Actually, wait. Did he go they them?
No, yeah, they're
Maybe?
they them. I forgot
know.
about that. Yeah,
I was gonna say I completely forgot about that.
I don't pay attention to Zell outside of his videos.
Ugok says sounds like Watcher Nonsense BuzzFeed thing. Ah.
No matter how creative or inspired or well-written a YouTube video, people will not watch unless they feel like they're actively getting something out of it. In most cases, that is an opinion, an analysis, again, a chance to get in on delicious, yummy, scrummy discourse, laughs and...
No! They could be looking to
grow
grow from it. They might not be adding... They might not want to get on the discourse. They might just want to know something.
Yeah, and also like fucking using what was it? Lily Orchard. I feel dirty after saying this as a positive example. I know. We'll have to all take a shower after this one.
I'm going to the bathroom right now. I'll be right back.
Okay. But using Lily Orchard as a positive example, her Steven Universe is bad and here's why video would not have been as big as it was if people weren't already mad at Steven Universe. Number one. And another huge factor is that Lily made several videos dogging on the show building up to that video. And I was there back when I was a fan of hers. When you were watching that shit, it was like everything building up to Infinity War. It was the Infinity War of Steven Universe essays. It was that freaking big, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so people like myself who already had grievances with the show gravitated towards the video because in a lot of ways we wanted our concerns reciprocated. We wanted an understanding that like, yeah, we're not crazy for thinking this way. And like, oh yeah, I thought about it this way. Or, oh my God, this is even worse than I thought. Now, of course, a lot of aspects of that video, 90% of it, honestly, just do not hold up to scrutiny today. And a lot of us were wrong back then. But at that point, it's not about the discourse. It's about watching a video from somebody who shares your views
Confirmation
for better
bias.
and for worse.
Dead Rex put it.
Yeah, confirmation bias. It's
Yeah.
why videos like the one we covered about My Hero Academia and sexism got as big as that did. Because unfortunately, there's a huge problem in the anime community where we are hypersensitive on the subject, and we basically hold up a pedestal to anyone who covers the subject of sexism in anime, regardless of quality, because we don't want to be looked at as the sexist redditors.
And it's not like the people who talk about sexism in the anime don't have a point, but the problem usually is that they don't have the context of what is going on in Japan in terms of sexual equality and how patriarchy and sexist roles and views are depicted in Japan. Because in some ways, it is different than how we view it in the West. Not only just sexism, but also sexuality is different in the West, or even just in America, where most of these video essays come from, than from the rest of the world. America is almost uniquely Puritan in that sense, in that a lot of sexuality is seen as a purely bad thing and something that only adult content should have, whereas that's not necessarily true or necessarily the case for other parts of the world.
God, Dofus.
But yeah, Dofu.
There's bras and panties everywhere, and it's very clearly a kids' show.
Yes, I love Dofu so much.
God damn, what's her face was just so fucking horny.
She was. Bakara was. Bakara.
Bakara. I love her so much. She's great.
Yeah, she's like the whole.
Then she's drunk throughout the entire climax of the film. Oh.
It's amazing because, like, one thing I will say with Dofu, it's got a lot of raunchy humor in it. It's for kids. It allows women to look ugly. They can go off model in order to accentuate the facial expressions. Like he said, Bakara got drunk, like ugly drunk. She crying her mascara.
You have no doubt seen the GIF floating around. I saw it long before we actually watched the movie.
Yeah.
And by the way, we're actually
never heard of this movie.
Oh yeah, it's Wakfu, right? Or wake.
Yeah, I heard of that.
Wakfu.
Wakfu. It's the movie that it's actually a 1,000-year prequel to the TV series Wakfu.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, and you can watch them independently. Wakfu, that's right, it's Wakfu.
Wakfu.
No, because remember the ancient guy calls it Wakfu, right?
Ah, yeah.
I remember I commented, I'm like, no, Wakfu sounds better, but no, it's called Wakfu.
Yeah, I guess. But
we're watching through. We actually the show came first, and then the movie. But we actually watched the movie first. Now we're watching the show.
Yeah.
Animation downgrade, but so far the show is really picking up. Highly recommend. It's been good so far.
Yeah.
And the movie is incredible. The movie is so beautifully animated.
It's a fucking tragedy that it bombed at the box office in France. Because it is
this
so
was
beautiful.
French. Okay.
Yeah, it's a French product. I'm pretty sure that the company is mostly independent. And it's a relatively small company, but because of their MMO games, Wakfu and Dofu, they became one of the largest French companies in the country simply because of those MMOs, and they're able to fund their animation branch of their company through their games, but also through Kickstarter. The final season of Wakfu has actually just been funded through Kickstarter. It ended only a couple of weeks ago, the Kickstarter campaign.
I will say the first few episodes, it's wonky. It's still getting off the ground. It's rough to get through a little bit early on, but once you hit a certain point, it starts to pick up a lot of speed, and it's fantastic.
Yeah,
it makes surprising amounts of callbacks.
Yeah, it does. Like the first couple of episodes, I was surprised that it was so rough, because when I first saw some episodes of Wakfu, I was watching, I think, episodes 12, 13, and 14 with my friend as she was watching the series. And so I thought that it was going to be like that the whole way through. So watching it with Raymond from the very beginning kind of surprised me, but going through it, we got like a couple of like really iffy episodes as we got introduced to the characters and who they are and what their deal is, and then we just get right into a lot of really good stuff and really funny episodes.
God, just the entire Gobal season. Everything about that was like, I'm surprised how great it was. I saw the first and second season of Wakfu on Netflix with the English dub. We're watching the English dub too, and it's going to be interesting when they swap voices.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should probably get back to we can only gush about Wakfu so much. Wakfu.
Wakfu.
And I can only be silent for so long.
Writing don't really cut it anymore. If it's not about a thing I already know, I don't want to watch, because my time has become a commodity and I don't want to take the risk of not spending it wisely.
That has always been the case. That's the conflict of the human condition. We only have so much fucking time, and we gotta decide where we're gonna spend it.
Yeah, right. And you know, my guy, like you have that choice to do that every single day. And it can be that maybe once a month you can choose to do something different with your time than what makes you comfortable. That's how I got into Birdie the Mighty. That's how I got into Snow White with the Red Hair. That's how I got into a lot of my favorite anime that I didn't watch on TV as a kid or as a teenager, because I decided that I wanted to do something different, that I wanted to get into something that I had never experienced before.
Also, Kaiser, Jesus Christ, that was a perfect purpleized what the fuck voice sound.
With the gasp.
Yeah. It was like almost like perfectly him. God, it makes me sad he deleted his channel. I can't believe he did that.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Read or Die. Yes, Read or Die.
Read or Die is fantastic. Holy shit. And I saw that in spite of, I believe, Anime Abandoned, Bennett the Sage's video. I don't remember his exact take on it, but that definitely got me into it.
I forgot he did that, like, because he only covered the OVA. He didn't cover the TV, right?
Yeah, he didn't cover the TV, which is a shame. The TV is severely underrated. Holy shit.
I mean, I think it's better than the OVA. Although, admittedly,
no, 100%. I agree with you, 100%.
Watching something about something I already know other people have an interest in, perhaps myself included, then even if the content of the video is bad and the person isn't really making any salient points, at least I still get to be involved in the discussion. At least I get to be immersed in the world of a piece of media I already know about, that I feel comfortable in. I can just bathe in it, enshrouded in the warm glow, yes, of discourse.
No, familiarity.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. We call those people tourists for a reason, and more often than not, they're gonna get laughed out, or they'll just congregate with each other. And it is what it is at that point, and people have the right to do that. But that doesn't make the video essays lazy or easier to do.
You also presented nothing like to actually demonstrate the lack of quality in this way. You're also trying to describe an experience that, like, you can criticize someone's video essaying, but now you're criticizing the audience, and that's a much more difficult matter to prove, because it's not like you have all the stats in a spreadsheet in front of you. You have to go around asking people about their feedback on why they do things, and I don't get the feeling you did. I feel like you're abstracting based upon observations that you can make on your metrics.
Yeah.
Because also, you're not making any salient points. Just putting that out there.
Definitely
If
not.
it's bad,
if you
it's
can
comfortable, and I know it. That's what we want to watch. Remember animators? Remember when animators used to do stuff on YouTube? You know,
They still do.
They
Fuck
still
up.
do.
Oh no, get out of here. This guy is an absolute friggin' joke. I can't, dude. Are you freaking serious?
The
Hold on, let me look something
animatic
up.
community on YouTube is fucking
That is-
popular. Their
Dude.
shit gets like 500,000 views, if not a couple million views. Have you seen the animatics for Epic the Musical? They get millions of views.
Oh
For
yeah, what
Hamilton?
is this? Glitch. 370 million views on the pilot for Amazing Digital Circus, which was a completely original property which had no guarantee of success.
Yes.
Was this an April Fool's video? No, we've had this in the chamber for a while.
Well, no,
No,
it was the
for a
video
long
published on April 1st, I think is what they're asking.
Oh,
Oh.
I don't think so. Because the guy was advertising.
Hold on, let
his
me look
fucking-
it up.
Yeah.
April 13th.
Damn.
Damn.
So it
12
landed
days
on
off.
the bad number.
Yeah. He's not again. I'm not the one to talk. Given I've watched vids and parroted opinions, I'm guilty of that. But like, discourse can be good and push tourists to engage with media. Yes, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. Sometimes
if
the
you're-
tourists will stay.
Yeah, sometimes tourists will move in and not become tourists anymore, and that's a good
Yeah.
thing. Like, there have been videos that I've watched essays on that I am a total and complete tourist on, and I will admit that. But I'm not going into those videos necessarily to just consume the content. I'm curious about the product, and I want to see
Yeah.
what it's all about, and if I want to get into it. Like, I watched video essays on Ladybug, sorry, and
Oh, God.
Star versus the Forces of Evil to get people's opinions on it, and because I was curious about what the shows were about.
Yeah. This is so fucking terrible. Just the fact, not even just original animations, but even animations based on pre-existing works. Like, I just looked up the Dan to Dan animatic based on I Won't Say I'm in Love from Hercules that has 249,000 views right now and counting.
It's so.
And that was made 4 months ago. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking
Sir,
about.
you are. Like, he's so myopic. He's like if it's not the thing that I can see, it's not there.
You
that
do
is
know
insanity.
that you're a YouTuber, my guy. You do know how YouTube's algorithm works. If you don't look this shit up, you won't see it. And it's your fault that you don't see this stuff.
Animations, you know why they all quit, right? It's because they simply weren't being rewarded proportionately for their work. The time investment
You're
was not.
showing videos that are extremely popular and still get memed to this day.
You're
what?
looking at Ego Raptor, a man that people beg to come back to sequelitis. People want him
Yes.
to return to animating, and he just finds it better doing what he's doing. He's having fun with Let's Plays and managing people's lives. He's actually doing what people would consider more monotonous work, running a fucking talent agency, than he would animating, and yet he has found a peace with himself. It's almost as if people discover new avenues with which to express themselves and find happiness in that.
And hell, it shows what we know about that because, he gets to sit on a table with Matthew Mercer in D&D and we get to be here with us.
Do
what
you
does
guys
that
consider
say?
Ruby indie? It started indie. It's no longer indie. It
it's no longer
has
indie.
not been indie
Like,
for a while.
Also,
It has not been indie for the majority of Ruby's run as the franchise. Like, I'm sorry, if you have 9 volumes and 7 of them are part of a company, like a very large conglomerate, that is not an indie product.
dog. There's this animation, this 1 minute, almost 2 minute animation video, animated student film, called Serial by Zray Alpha Charlie. Guess how many views this video has?
30 million.
5 million.
Okay, holy shit. Wait, Raymond, what did you say?
I said 30 million.
Oh, 30. Okay, so it has 553,000.
Okay.
And by 3
And it was
million, I meant
made, but
three,
it
so
was
I could
made
say I
3
lowballed
months
it.
ago.
Yeah.
It was made 3 months ago, and the channel itself has almost 2 million subscribers.
Yeah. It baffles me. And like this is also ignoring all the other kinds of content. Like comic dubs are pretty popular.
Comic dubs.
Oh, they are very
Dude.
popular.
They are insanely fucking popular. Holy shit.
But yeah, like, dude, maybe look for other animators besides the ones you grew up watching on YouTube. Maybe those people have grown out of that as their chosen profession. That happens.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, you can't just make these assumptions and act as though that's a problem when...
Dwight?
Oh, okay. I thought that was just me. She
Oh,
cut out
thank
my-
God. I thought it was like, I thought everything had just broken down. What do you think of people
Yeah.
making fan teams for Ruby? I used to really like it, but after Ruby became what it is, it's kind of cringe. But that's fine. I'm not nothing against it for people. Been seeing a lot of
Sure.
ZZ comic dubs on my feed lately. Dude, the one where
That's
Jane
probably
Doe...
Saito's fault.
That's probably Saito's fault. But there's that one where Jane Doe fakes a pregnancy test for, I think Seth was his name. And, like, she's going to be like, oh, he's going to be heartbroken and such. It's going to be like, he's going to panic and all that stuff. And he's like super excited about it. And she's like, but wait, no, I'm not actually, no, wait. And like the end of it is like, okay, so I have to absolutely get pregnant. He's so excited to be a father. I couldn't say no to that. Like, it's like weirdly cute. Like, she is one of the most seductively designed characters I've seen from ZZZ, and she ends up having some of the most wholesome fucking content. It's great. Is Twilight messaged at all? Is she alive? Is she dead? Internet got unplugged. Oh.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Anyway, oh my god. Then there's this guy named Theater of the Unaligned who made animated shorts of like this parody D&D game that I guess that he made, and he put out a compilation of those shorts called the Animated Series Season 1, and it has 272,000 views. It was made 12 days ago.
I was gonna say, fucking Nigel and Marmalade. Oh, and Twice dead.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Nigel and Marmalade.
Boy stream.
He has now 290,000 subscribers. This has been up for a little over a year and 4 months, and it almost has 1 million views. And it's just this isn't the original. I gotta go to the original short, which is oldest. Nigel and Marmalade, 1.8 million views. It's just a YouTube short, and it's just Nigel, the tiny wizard.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those videos. They're actually really funny.
It's so it's funny and adorable and great, and it's just like it's a 1.8 million views. It's you are not looking good, sir. Fudge.
You're really not. Number one rival. There was also a guy that made an animated parody series of Dark Souls 3 vids, and they are making vids of this to this day in a similar style. I believe it's Dark Sauce. I think I might know you're talking about, rival.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people that do that kind of stuff. So it's
especially with how big like shorts are on YouTube nowadays. Like the same Theater of the Unaligned guys that I told you about. Most of the shorts that they made a compilation video out of, most of those shorts get like millions of views, or at least a million to a quarter million. Like that's huge, especially for a channel their size.
We all black screens now? Everything okay, guys?
Wait, what?
Are you just lampooning that Twi is a block right now? She's gone abstract?
Yeah, Twi is a block. I can see it.
I'll just turn her off for now, and when she comes back, I can turn her back on. But yeah.
Alrighty.
Should we? I guess should we continue without her? Just presume, you know, Twy is. But you guys
Yeah,
are back.
unfortunately.
Yeah. Wait, I was wrong. Is Dork Souls 3? Punky Doodle.
Oh,
hasn't
Dork
commented.
Souls 3. And his channel is still huge, even with the detailed art style they have. Awesome.
Yep. All right. Well, let's continue.
Worth it. Most animations were somewhere from 2 to 10 minutes, enough time to show off your abilities and flex creatively, but not so much time that the workload became completely impossible, even though that is still an insane amount of work. And in today's climate, animators stand basically no chance because YouTube wants you to be a short or it wants you to be 3 hours. The margins have stretched out to both extremes. With shorts, we can chase TikTok in the glory days of Vine, and with our watch time boner and pushing of 9-hour video essays, we can appeal to all the people who want to absorb movies and video games without actually watching or
Well, I'm glad that's fixed now because they allow YouTube Shorts to be 3 minutes now.
Yeah.
There, problem solved.
And also, in addition to that, like, I'm sorry, but a lot of these animators on YouTube are working by themselves. So
Yeah.
why the fuck would they want to create a freaking feature-length film that would take like several years in order to complete?
I mean, some people do. You get like what's his face? The guy that does a Fox in Space.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Actually, I know that guy. I've been following them for ages, and yeah, of course, there are people like that are willing to do it, but there's a reason why they're in the minority, and it's not because it's not popular.
Twilight's back, by the way.
Yeah. Sorry. Because my grandpa's still having problems with getting his TV to work, they decided to reset the router. So I was gone.
Well, we've advanced a little bit here, but not by too much. But he's like, oh, animators don't have a shot, and we're just sitting here giving him billions of examples of how animators are thriving right now.
Oh dear.
Like, it's like, oh, because they want you to be a short or be 2 hours long. It's like, well, it's a good thing that shorts allow you to be 3 minutes now instead of just 1.
Yeah.
I
And
just like,
not only that, but again, why most of these animators on YouTube are working on their own. So of course, most of them are not going to be willing to make a fucking an episode length 20-minute animated short or whatever the fuck.
yeah.
playing them. Now, I mentioned my own video essay exploits and how I too have given in to the format to appease the algorithm because I want to say this, it's not the people's fault. This is not a video to say video essayists are lame or that you should hold anything against them because
Then why did you blame them?
I don't believe you.
Well, the thing is,
I really don't.
Here's the hot take. It is the people's fault because they're interested in it and they are drawn to it. But you know what?
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing. It just means that people's interests lie somewhere else. When was this video uploaded?
Yeah.
It was uploaded almost exactly a year ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so shallow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
You're basically just complaining that, oh, why don't the majority of people like the things that I like? You should like what I like so that I can make money off of doing videos that I like instead of the ones that just appeal to you guys.
Dude, get a better,
Yeah,
get
what
a
the
different
fuck?
profession. That's all I can tell you. You obviously don't
Honest to
want to be
God.
on YouTube.
Like,
Yeah.
you have the option of making easy money by doing content that you don't like, or you can go the slow route of only doing content that you like and building your niche audience. You will have to have an in real life job for quite a while doing something else, but you can do it. You can build up your channel by just doing the niche content.
There is
Exactly.
YouTube actually does reward attrition, but you actually have to attrition.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta earn
do
it.
More creative stuff on YouTube have had to be one of them too. We all do. It's what works. It's what keeps us fed. The irony is going to continue here because I'm going to reference, you guessed it,
problem
a
is
video
that you
essay
have
I
YouTube
made a
as your
couple
main
years
career.
back on my problems with YouTube as a creator. Addendum here, creator is an incredibly generous term for most people on YouTube. As I say in the video, most people on YouTube are not creating anything, they're just reacting to things made by other.
Oh my god.
my God.
Fuck off.
That can be creative in and of itself. We're doing that right now.
Yes.
I consider myself pretty damn fucking entertaining.
Like
Yeah.
being creative and being entertaining are very hard things to do. Like
Yes.
I struggle in my live streams where I'm playing the video games to be entertaining and to talk all the time, because I'm not somebody who just talks all the time when I play video games, so it's hard work for me to do that because I'm not used to it. I don't hang out with my friends very much when I play video games. I'm a very lonely person.
Don't.
But
It's like, oh god. All right, so fucking hell. I had a thought, but it's like I'm all over the place at this guy now.
I'm
This
sorry.
video is just black holing your brain.
No, it's just like I was letting Twi finish. I'm like, I can hold on to this. No, I can't.
yeah, sorry about that. But yeah.
This is why giving women freedom of speech was just, I'm joking. I'm joking.
See, this is what we call humor, my friend, and you aren't good at it. Fudge. Yeah, so it's like most people are just reacting to things. It takes skill to react to things. Note,
Yeah.
the channels that are the most popular are because the personalities themselves are strong enough to carry the content when they are not reacting. As much as I don't like Asmongold, he does have charisma to some extent. It's a weird
Yes.
charisma that has a bald spot. I don't understand how that works,
Yeah.
but he has it.
Yeah.
And
people have been
also,
drawn to them
here
for
is
a
another
reason.
thing. You don't control YouTube. You don't control your audience. You are being so fucking ungrateful. You have an unprecedented opportunity to actually make something and present it to the world. And you are being angry that no one looks at it, and you're blaming them for it. No, motherfucker, you came onto YouTube's fucking platform. You stood up there on their goddamn stage, performed your shitty little act, and no one came to your little show. The rest of us are getting up there, and when we fail at a show, we climb off those stairs, immediately start asking people in the audience that we're staying what we could have done better. We go back to the drawing board so that we can get back up on the stage and perform the dance that we want to do, but also appeals to the maximum number of people. That is what you do. You are sitting here bitching about how the stage is not in the right position for you to get the maximum amount of sunlight. I'm sorry, motherfucker. The stage is where it's at. YouTube owns it. They will move it at their leisure, and we, as creators, have to fucking adapt. I'm sorry.
And
Adapt or
clearly
die.
you did. And clearly you did, because 3 videos later, you made a big Pokemon Sword and Shield video. And that got you about, what, 280,000 views?
For all his faults, Asmongold definitely had a rat corpse alarm clock, and you have to be aware of it. I forgot about the rat corpse alarm clock. Oh yeah,
It's their fault I'm not famous.
Exactly.
But I cited a statistic in this video that I think is very sobering and that I still think about a lot. It's that from the year 2000 to 2015, the average human attention span dropped from 12 seconds to 8 seconds. A full 4-second drop
Okay.
in 15 years is insane. And I
Okay,
shudder
but
to
then
think-
why is long form content really popular then?
Yeah, like you're suddenly hitting a
Yeah,
contradiction
what?
here. Like people are watching hour-long videos. What's your explanation?
Yeah, like you're literally complaining about the video essay, which is in general long form content, and then whining about arbitrary attention spans, which I've read that actually might be not actually true.
Well,
and that
it's not
we
like
don't
we were measuring attention spans back in the day.
No,
Right.
but like I've read studies where the studies about attention span and how we're supposedly losing it wasn't done correctly, and that we technically have the same amount of attention span that we've always had, but now there is just more stuff trying to vie for our attention.
Oh yeah, it's either, back in the day, we either had the choice of, well, we could churn more butter, or I could just stare out into space for about 5 hours. That was the options. Very thrilling staring out into space for 5 hours, I'll tell you that.
Well, it can be cathartic, actually, like just staring out there, just thinking about things. I love my stare at the wall time, because that's when I get creative.
You see, I do that, but I can only do it when sitting on a gargoyle at the top of a skyscraper. That's typically.
Oh yeah, totally.
How it's changed.
Don't sit
in the
on
age of
Goliath.
TikTok, aggressive, bouncy text in your face editing, jump cuts, and instant gratification. Basically everything.
Oh
I
my
say in
god,
video, I
shut
feel
the
is still
fuck
relevant.
up. There are videos that literally just amount to talking about a thing, but playing with freaking Call of Duty as B-roll.
Also, fuck you!
And that video...
This is cool! Like, this guy built a whole slide contraption in his house. How is that not neat? Like, that takes a lot of effort.
I literally have dreams about stuff like that at night, and have since I was a kid, because I love secret passages and secret passageways ever since I watched The Secret Garden as a kid.
Play? Video.
Be even more relevant today, so I won't repeat myself. I think this drop in attention span is the root of a lot of things, and somewhat paradoxically, I actually think it explains our breakdown of a piece of media we already know or want to know more about. It's not about the length. Hell, most of the time we just put it on in the background while we're doing something else. It's about not being alone with our thoughts, and it's about retreating to something we know, whether that is retreating to something.
Whoa! Is someone messing with this?
Movies.
No, not me.
Okay, it's just glitching out for me. Give it a moment to rest. Though I will say, all right, so what we used to do in those circumstances is nothing. Humanity used to do nothing. We just have more options now to do things in the background, to not be alone with our thoughts. And
well, I mean, like, we've always, like, up until the last 100 to 150 years, we've always had to work in order to survive. The majority of us, the, like, 99.5% of people in the world had to work all day in order to put food on their plates or to store food for the winter so that they could survive. And that's, like, sometimes that still didn't work because there would be famines and all that kind of stuff. We have time to do things now, and we just have to fill that time with something, because your brain is always working whether you like it or not, and you need to have that kind of stimulation. Whether or not you fill it with reading a book or watching a movie or watching a video essay on YouTube, you're still occupying your mind with something.
Why did we change the streams from Tuesdays to Wednesdays? Schedules. People just lined up better. Blame Kaiser.
Yeah, Kaiser.
I'm just
Kaiser's
sitting here
the one-
eating. I'm just sitting here eating chicken, dog. What the fuck?
Unlikely story. Anyway, Ugok says everyone is an essayist. Drop in attention span. How did we get here? That's a good question. Let's see.
As a whole, or a specific album, or movie, or video game. All across the world, in every creative industry, you're seeing the arts get more risk averse. We are doing the same as viewers. As every...
No. Popular arts have either been hyper risky or super safe. There's very little middle ground in that regard. This has been a trend throughout all of history because big donors typically back safe projects. However, what is safe does change per the era, and what is risky changes per the era. And risky things are typically funded by individuals that really want to see something pushed, or they simply are produced individually by the people making it in the first place. Like, that is how art has always worked. And you're just saying that, like, everything is safe now? No. Don't hug me, I'm scared. Got a fucking television series, for fuck's sake. By the way, an independent, quote-unquote, animations or independent series that does its own, like, felt puppet thing. Like, that's a whole, like, a counterpoint to everything you've said. So, like...
Also, sorry, movies have always been safe, though, because I've done a lot of research into really, really old film, like the birth era of film. And a lot of there's a lot of movies that are considered lost media, but a lot of those, whether they are found media, were never lost or were lost media, a lot of those films were just adaptations of books. So the fact that people complain today about how there are so many adaptations of books and other media turned into movies is kind of a non-issue, because that's always been the case ever since the inception of film.
Right.
It's just bizarre to me. It's like, naturally speaking, we look back on the past and we see the things that stand out the most because they stand the test of time.
Yeah,
like,
but and we see what shitty games suck ass.
Yeah, and like gaming is weird because, you know, it's like we had a new era of a new medium, so a lot of older stuff still stands out, but like time will smooth over a lot of the bumps. Only the top of the top of the top are going to stand out, like a lot of films these days. You don't really hear about all the hundreds of films that came out in the 50s or the 60s.
Yeah.
You hear about the maybe 100 or so that everyone hails as the best of that era because those are the ones that have the longest living lifespan. Like, that's
it's the same with music too.
Yep.
Like, there's been talk about music and how there's this idea that music was so much better back in the day, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, and talking, like, asking their grandparents or their parents, like, wasn't music better back in the day? And they're like, not necessarily. Like, there was a lot of garbage there. It's just that you don't hear it on the radio anymore.
Yeah, like,
because the only thing that you hear nowadays is just the stuff that was actually good.
I was gonna say, what we have recorded down are the symphonies that were written by people that were educated in it. We don't have all the songs that were written by traveling bards.
Yeah.
Right.
And the ones that survived were the ones that were popular enough to be spread around.
Yeah, they're the ones that people could hum to themselves and sing to each other.
Everything is competing for our time, and as our time is being commodified, we are less willing to take risks with it. We do not want to take the risk of engaging with something new or different. All we do over and over again is retreat to what we know.
Okay, but what about the tourists then?
Okay, well, here's another thing.
Yeah.
We retreat to what we know. So you have no problem with people shitting on the new Indiana Jones, right? Because all it does is tries to replay the greatest hits of Indiana Jones to try and recapture the old stuff. You don't mind people shitting on Snow White because it's just supposed to be trying to retell in a bad way, apparently, the old story of Snow White. You don't mind that, right? You wouldn't mind a video essayist being critical of those things because there are people retreating to what's familiar, what's known, and now there's pushback against it. Like, where is
almost
your
like
fucking
this is a complicated process.
So, from what I'm getting for this, you're a lazy, non-creative person if you talk about things that people have created that are original, but you're also lazy and uncreative if you talk about things that are also derivative and have been done before. Are you just saying that people are just not allowed to talk about things because talking about things is just lazy and that you just need to consume product and shut up? Is that what I'm basically getting at?
I mean, at this point, that's a logical conclusion.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's necessarily that extreme, but he's not doing himself any favors.
Oh, no,
the ultimate conclusion of this is that making video essays are easy, and because of that easiness, it results in laziness in content, which No, not necessarily. And even then, there are always going to be bad apples in any creative medium.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you talk about all the animators that are getting shafted. Well, what if there are lazy animators out there that aren't doing any actual legwork? They're just putting, like, shitty 3-frame animations on screen.
And they don't advertise their shit. They don't like post anything on Twitter. They don't shake a few hands with other creatives on the platform. They don't have an active plan. That what happened to these other people?
Do they deserve to be highlighted just because they drew 1 or 2 frames of an image? No, they don't. Like, I will take someone who wrote a 3-hour video essay and put their love and heart into trying to figure out the problems of something that they passionately think about over someone who slapped together a 2-frame animation in 3 seconds. Like, it's your measurement here is so unbelievably unbalanced.
Yep.
I made a couple of slideshows very early in my channel. Am I a creative person now because I took a bunch of other people's art, stuck them onto a slideshow, and put them to music?
Only if you put them to "In the Arms of the Angels."
No, I put them to Japanese songs that I liked.
Okay.
But yeah.
The video
they're very cringe, by the way. Don't watch them.
I wish I knew enough Japanese to be able to actually sing "In the Arms of the Angels," but like in Japanese.
The way social media has decimated our attention span, nor are they to blame for doing what works to pay the bills. I'm saying we seem to have forgotten that the creatives are the ones to be revered and looked up to, and video essayists are talking about their work on YouTube.
We
spend almost all our time criticizing the works of others. Maybe people should criticize us more often. I think a lot about...
They do!
Look
A lot!
At what we're doing, buddy!
They criticize...
Say less!
Literally, Mauler's entire subreddit, the subreddit dedicated to Mauler, is filled with people that hate Mauler.
So it's an H3 snark thing going on. Okay.
It's like, it used to be like, oh, we can congregate here, but now it's just a bunch of people that just shit on Mauler that live there.
Okay.
Oh.
This is wild, dude.
It's this game made by literally 2 people who formed a studio together in Spain. This game, by all accounts, was not good, and as you can see from the footage, it is hugely derivative of Cuphead. Too derivative to ever stand out on its own, and likely speaks to a lack of creativity on the developer's part. It is definitely deserving of criticism. But as far as I can see, there doesn't seem to be anything particularly malicious about it. You know what there is something malicious about? The way people talked about it. I mean, look at some of these thumbnails.
Okay.
Clone
okay.
Never
Who cares?
Had a chance. Is it legal? Trash.
Because you know what?
I'm sorry. What?
You don't know whether or not it's malicious. It could be that it's just trying to ride the coattails of Cuphead, because Cuphead was popular, therefore we want some of the Cuphead money. We don't really care about making a good game, we just want to make easy money. So therefore we're going to copy Cuphead so that we can make a shovelware game, pretty much, and just have that out so that we can have some easy money. Now I know that that's probably not the case because it's a 2D game, and I don't know if it is actually 2D, if they did the hand-drawn animation and stuff like they did with Cuphead, but either way, if you're going to make a derivative game that is basically just Cuphead, but with the serial number filed off, then you are making lazy content, and lazy content does deserve to be criticized. And it does not matter how malicious or how angry people are when they criticize it, because if it is something that is lazy, you are allowed to have that emotional opinion about it. My dude.
Also, Daigato is right on the freaking money. These thumbnails are friggin' mid. You call this shit...
Wait, let's take it
they-
even
they
a step
call
further.
this shit
One,
fucking malicious.
didn't you say you didn't want to target anyone specifically, and yet you're displaying their YouTube channels in this particular instance completely uncensored? So you're already
Oh my God,
contradicting
yeah.
yourself. Secondly,
Uh-huh.
2 of these thumbnails are from the same fucking creator. So we're already limiting the pool that you're actually representing this whole thing with. But let's see.
Mhm.
And the one that actually is not that bad, never had a chance, that seems fine to me. It doesn't seem it doesn't seem critical. It's the only 2 that seem hyper critical or hyper mean are the one by yeah here.
Some of these videos with hundreds of thousands, millions of views.
Where's the million?
Yeah, they're not seeing a million here.
Do we not
Yeah, I'm
maybe
not
forget
seeing a million.
ourselves a bit and how damaging
there's
stuff
one.
like this
Okay,
is?
there's a 1 million.
Okay.
Oh no, that's the trailer for the for
wait,
the
that's
game
a
itself. Interesting.
In big corporations and executives is one thing, but this is 2 people who made a game together in Spain. Is this helpful
Oh
to
my
them?
god, kiss my ass, dude.
Okay.
Just
but-
because you worked hard on something does not mean you don't deserve criticism.
Just because you're Spanish.
Listen,
What
I ain't
about-
letting the Spanish Inquisition stop me.
What about that German company that made all of those really, really poorly done Disney clone movies, like Lion and the
Yeah.
King?
What about the
And
fucking
Dalmatians.
Asylum that makes rip-off films of every other major blockbuster?
Oh
that
my
ever
god,
came out?
those Asylum movies. Holy shit.
And Sharknado.
Like,
But yeah.
you like, you cannot assume that every single creative thing that comes out is not done just for corporatization and just to make money. Like, you cannot
Yeah.
assume that everything that comes out that happens to have been made by a person has been done out of love and their blood, sweat, and tears, because that
And-
is not the case and has never really been the case
So-
for
so-
everything.
Going to play back this, there's something I noticed here.
There doesn't seem to be anything particularly malicious about it. You know what there is something malicious about? The way people talked about it. I mean,
Okay, so the top one obviously calls it a ripoff, but the second one says never had a chance, and it says the Cuphead clone that failed badly. It seems like a retrospective, and it says, oh, it's a rough life cycle. It seems
Yeah.
very sympathetic to it.
look at some of these thumbnails. Some of these videos.
One
with
negative,
hundreds of
another
thousands,
negative, so that's 3
millions
negative
of
between 2
views.
people.
Do we not?
And it's
The
like-
Cuphead clone that's so
ourselves a
bad
bit
it's
at
offensive.
How damaging stuff like this
And then,
is? You
obviously, the
targeting
trailer
big
for it.
corporations and executives is one thing.
And then
but this is 2
from the
people
first
who made
guy
a
that
game
was
together
positive,
in
or
Spain.
they can't catch
Is
a
this
break.
helpful to them?
That's
What happened to
sympathetic.
that Cuphead clone?
It seems sympathetic. Like, a lot of people seem to be like, well, it's unfortunate which very clearly, like, no one can deny this is a Cuphead clone, but people
Well,
can say
yeah.
that it's like, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
You're basically just complaining at this point about kind of clickbaity titles, which is a completely different thing
Yeah, it's completely
to
different
everything
conversation.
else that you're talking about here. Because you can't say for sure, unless if you actually watch the videos, that these are malicious. The titles
Yeah.
might sound kind of mean, but that's to entice you to watch. Because, like, saying, oh, this never had a chance. It's like, oh, what is this? I've never seen it before. I'm going to click on this video to watch and see what it's all about. That is the
Yeah.
purpose of that title and that screenshot.
But for all you know, the actual content of the video might be completely different. It might have something a bit more worthwhile to say on the fucking subject. Maybe actually play some clips of these friggin' videos and talk about why their assessment is a little bit beyond the pale.
Are we not forgetting ourselves? How do we think this makes them feel? Truly,
I don't care.
Don't care.
I get it. It's sad, but like at the end
Like-
of the day, criticism should be divorced from emotions.
I'm
okay,
sorry
let's-
that not everything that has been created or that has been had a lot of work put into it gets a lot of attention. That's them breaks. Not every book that comes out is going to be a bestseller. Not every book that comes out is going to make the author thousands upon thousands of dollars.
You have to
It's
work
just- it's just a
fucking hard
fact
to
of life.
stand out. You have to do
And-
so
and
much
okay.
legwork.
Yeah. And even aside from that, I guess, given all the branch to this guy a little bit here, if, let's say, any one of these guys in their videos unironically said, this game is such an insult to Cuphead, to its legacy, and I'm going to go over to the developer's house, and I'm gonna, and it just cuts away, a little bit, and they unironically believe that kind of shit, I would say, yeah, of course, that would be beyond the pale. And anything sort of like adjacent to that kind of verbiage, of course, I would agree that, yeah, you're being needlessly mean and you're no longer just criticizing. The problem is that you're not showing us how harsh these videos actually are towards this game. I know nothing about these people.
And even then,
Yeah.
like, it goes towards the fact that, like, that would be a different issue in itself. That's a maliciousness thing. We're just talking about the vapid aimlessness of essays, I guess. But, like, you're not doing anything to support it. You're talking about the thumbnails right now, my dude. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Like, you don't know the content of this. You're just complaining about vastly different things, just whining about the fact that video game essays or talking about things at all exist. Because I don't think that those were even essays necessarily, so much as like reporting on a video game that came out and the controversy or the fact that the game didn't do very well. That's not a
it could
video
be a commentary
essay.
video.
Yeah, it's a commentary video, not an essay.
No, but I did click.
I would love to see any of the people who made these videos make their own game with one other person, max.
Fuck
Oh,
you.
shut the fuck up.
Fuck you.
Fuck off.
No,
I don't know. I am sick of this shit.
I am too. And that's why I
Let
made
me-
fixing
let me-
Ruby. I put my money where my mouth is. I thought Ruby was bad. People kept saying to Fat Man, hey, I'd like to see you do better. So I was like, you
Guys-
know what? I'm going to do better. I'm going to make a shot at it.
Listen, guys, I'm sorry. If you go to a hole-in-the-wall pizza place and you find a few cockroaches in your pepperoni, I'm sorry. You just can't you can't say anything about it, because do you know how to make pizza? If you can't toss the dough in the air, if you don't got an Italian mustache, you can't say shit, bitch.
This is the Butch Hartman,
It
you
is
can't
what it is.
criticize me, you're not an artist thing. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
exactly that.
yeah.
It's so fucking maverick, dude. Oh my god.
I find it so frustrating because it's like, you can still have an opinion on the quality of a game without having to know the intricacies of the background programming and all of the effort that went into it. I'm sorry, your effort doesn't mean a goddamn thing when it comes to the final product. There's a reason why everyone like makes fun of Yandere Dev, because he's worked for like 10 years on his one shitty ass game and it's still garbage.
And he's also
It's
an
not-
awful
Even
person.
without looking at
Yeah.
any of the fucking controversy surrounding him, people are harsh just towards the game and his work ethic as a creator, and they have
Yeah.
every single fucking right to.
Yeah, exactly. Outside of him being a shitty person doesn't matter to the quality of his game, and it does not matter how long he has worked on it, because if you work harder, not smarter, you're not making a good game. You are making a shitty product that you just spent forever completing. I do not care that he spent a long time on that game. It is still garbage.
A great example in
Yeah.
the opposite direction is freaking No Man's Sky, which released
Yes.
and everyone hated. Everyone was disappointed by that game because they overpromised and overpromised and overpromised, because basically the team was so small. It got a bunch of promotion from Sony. It got bloated to the size that it was not expecting, and they overpromised. And then you know what they did? They took the criticism to heart, put their nose to the grindstone, and they have updated the game for free for years. And after like a year minimum, it was already in a state that people were saying, oh yeah, no, this is actually pretty good. And then a year after that, even better. And a year after that, even better. Basically,
the same thing happened in Cyberpunk.
Yeah, but like, although they design-wise, they ripped out.
I don't care. But
I know.
Like the point, I don't care about your tangent. I care about whether or not they had edited and fixed up the game. That is what you should be focusing on.
I was focused on the promises. Anyway, but yes, let us continue. This man is silly.
I think a lot about Insane in the Rain Music, an incredible jazz musician on YouTube who announced in 2022 that he was leaving it behind for a bevy of reasons. Now, he's since come back, kind of, for other reasons, and I don't want to speak for him, but there's a section in the original Departure video that really resonated with me.
Now, for a long time, I kind of felt guilty that, I am the only one that has stumbled into, inadvertently profiting off of somebody else's content. And I'm a bad person for doing that. But the more that I looked around, the more I realized that this particular group of issues regarding copyright wasn't just unique to me. It's a problem with the entire creator ecosystem. Maybe it's not a problem, but it's a phenomenon that's existed in the entire creator ecosystem. YouTube is full of people profiting off somebody else's creation. For example, there are reaction YouTubers who just record themselves watching somebody else's material. Even people like Let's Players and Twitch streamers are playing a game that was created and sold by somebody else, and if they do it professionally, are generating their own profit off of it. Now, I'm not saying this is inherently wrong. There are Let's Players and Twitch streamers out there that are innovative and add their own, their own flavor to a game with their commentary, what they might do with it. And I think that's wonderful. For me, it just solidifies the notion that ownership of intellectual property on the internet is just so complicated. There are people that make millions.
Yeah, okay, so a few thoughts on that. For one, gameplay as an action in its of itself is performative.
Yes.
You don't need commentary over video gameplay. You, controlling the character, are in a sense performing. Now, is it very compelling? No, typically commentary will be better. But in itself is performative. What you are referring to, more than likely, is musical covers, which is a different ballgame because you are reproducing verbatim the sounds that you are supposed to have for that music. It's not a
lot of which is Nintendo in this guy's case, so that makes sense.
This kind of stuff is not unique to fucking YouTube. There have been covers in the actual music industry and stuff since time immemorial. There are a lot of music that we listen to this day that are actually covers of much older songs, and you probably don't even realize it because the song is so old that you've never listened to the original.
Quite literally, it is one of the oldest parts of professionally produced music, because you go back to symphonies and what happens? You pass around the fucking music sheets and entire orchestras play a song that was developed somewhere halfway across the world. I'm sorry. This is so weird. Now, should you get permission to perform it? There's discussion there about that nature of copyright, but live streaming, when you're commenting on something, when you're doing reactions to something, they are a completely different ball game compared to video games, compared to musical covers.
Yeah, it is a much he did specify that it is very complicated, but that's not unique to YouTube. That's just how the system works in general. And part of the problem is that America has made it so that the copyright lasts so ridiculously long after what it has been for the past 100 years, and that's specifically because of Disney and other large corporations who want to continue making money long after it should, because only the top 1% of products are actually going to end up benefiting from that. The majority of other stuff that would benefit more from being in the public domain are going to get lost in the slush pile, specifically because they're not popular enough when they're in copyright, that people are going to lose that sense of what they are. Whereas if they were in the public domain, they could gain a new life and a new just a new life in general, because people can take those things and modify them and reproduce them for themselves in their own way.
And also, even speaking contextually to just this guy and saying the Rain music, I've seen some of their covers before. This guy seemed familiar. I wouldn't necessarily doubt, because the video that Fudge is mentioning here was like 3 years old. I wouldn't necessarily doubt that, especially given this guy's talents, I wouldn't doubt that probably part of the reason why he is not really doing as much content creation just nowadays compared to before is because he probably actually got like a big job, you know? Like he probably works as professionally as a musician now.
Yeah, no
So
doubt.
that's another thing to worry about.
Like, also, there's different types of music. I don't know what kind of content that this guy does, but there's
Mainly jazz
mainly
covers.
jazz. Okay.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people out there who make their living translating songs into other languages, translating songs into English, for instance. Like there's a whole bunch of people who do that, and even in the actual industry, I have heard songs that were translated from English into other languages. Like there's Yona, I think, who made a song that is in English, is kind of like a hippie song. It's a song that is inherently about kind of the romanticizing the 60s and the hippie movement of the 60s, and translating it into Korean and just turning it into a love song.
But yeah, this is so more complicated. This example is not going to help you at all in this. This is a weird thing to pull up, because he also, there are a bunch of other examples of reasons why he did this. So it's not the only thing. There's compounding factors. You're focusing only on this one thing.
Focusing on this one thing.
Which he is incorrect on.
Yeah. And I just find it very odd that I guess maybe if there was more context to what he is specifically saying, maybe that could add like a different perspective to what this guy is saying. But because it was picked out of the rest of the context of the video, it gives off a very different impression that we may not be, that we wouldn't agree with otherwise. So, like, it's just much more complicated.
$1 million livings off of making reaction videos, or what are essentially reaction videos, not adding that much of their own, and just reacting.
This is it. This is exactly it. It's not that it isn't possible to get creative with videos based on other IP. It's what Neil CC Orega did. It's what Mystery Guitar Man did. It's what I and tons of others have tried, because it's the closest to creativity you can get on YouTube nowadays. But increasingly, it's feeling like the only genre on YouTube left in 5 years or so will be people dissecting things that already exist or ranking them. Do you remember?
You are so fucking old, man.
You are gotten.
There was not a single video I just saw there that was pre-2008.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Like, dude, the reason why you think it is the way it is, you're just not reaching out to new shit. Now who's not looking for new shit?
Yeah, honestly, you have zero right to call anyone else lazy on this platform when it doesn't even seem like you step a single step outside your own wheelhouse.
Oh my god, you're referencing Marble Hornets in the year of our Lord 2025?
What even is that?
You know Slender Man?
Kind of.
This is arguably where he comes from.
Okay.
I can't remember if he was originally in a bunch of like shitpost images on 4chan, and then someone turned it into a series called Marble Hornets, where you get a bunch of different creatures like him as well. But dude, Jesus Christ, like, this is so old. It's at least 2012, man.
Yeah,
like, I find it very interesting that basically kind of this argument is that there's no such thing as being creative anymore, because we only make derivative works based off of other things, as though that's not how the creative process works. Like, we've talked extensively about how a lot of our projects come from criticizing other projects. Fractured Fairy Tales comes from Ruby. Cadence of Magic actually does come from other things too.
The Artificer comes from different isekai.
Yeah. There's there's a couple of my stories that I have on the back burner that come from songs that I've listened to that have given me inspiration to things. Like, it's derivative in the same way, but I'm just changing it to a different medium. Is it okay then if I take a book and turn it into a movie, or is it just upsetting to you because you're taking a visual medium and then making another visual medium out of it?
Well, to be clear, we're also shifting the goalpost now, because we're not talking about essays anymore. We're talking about reaction content or tier ranking, which are completely different fucking things. They're typically a live performance, or in some ways a reaction that isn't as thought through and reflective. So it's like
he's just blanketing all of these very different video contents as video essay.
Yeah.
And they assume that they all have the same problem, which they don't.
They don't.
Remember Marble Hornets? Slender Man has basically become a mythological character in horror media because of Marble Hornets, a from-the-ground-up creation from a group of people who were not already famous beforehand and isn't based on anything else. Do you think something like that could happen today?
Yes.
Yes.
The back rooms.
What do you think?
The back rooms literally in a movie now.
Yeah.
Holy shit! That's like in the last 3 years.
Is?
When did the Marble Hornets thing come out?
2012, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
When did that big horror SP whatever thing come out?
SCP, yeah.
Yeah.
Start.
Might have been around the same time, actually.
June 2007. It's been around for a while.
Okay, so like.
Oh, Marble Hornets has been around since 2009.
Ah, so they came about at the same time, but like you can still make things like that to this day, and you can get a following off of it. It's literally just a bunch of people coming together and creating stories.
Yeah, the horror community has only gotten bigger.
Yeah.
Create on Something Awful forums. So, yeah, that's
If you're saying that, like, make something unique today, what about things like Bendy and the Ink Machine, or that other horror thing based off of dolls and stuff?
Poppy Playtime.
Yeah, like
there's that.
Those are the same things, aren't they?
They are not the same things, but they are like they were all spawned from FNAF. FNAF like blew up an entire subgenre that is now everywhere, and people are succeeding everywhere with it because it's somehow safe enough for children to watch, but scary enough to like give them that taboo feeling they're watching something adult. Petscop makes it go back even further.
Well, I'm not sure if Bendy and the Ink Machine is necessarily a FNAF thing. I think that that's kind of a mixture of maybe that, but also Cuphead, because that's kind of the same.
To clarify, the genre I believe is called mascot horror.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think Bendy is much more based on like Slenderman, honestly, when it comes down to like mechanically.
It could also be kind of based off of Epic Mickey.
Yeah, that too.
Because when I first saw Bendy and the Ink Machine, like I didn't play any of it, and I didn't watch anybody playing it, but just listening to my friend talk about it because she was really into it, and when she was making an animation for it, like it sounded to me like a dark version of Epic Mickey.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be like a commentary on the 1940s and 1950s animation industry.
Yeah, yeah, and it sounded like the situation with Oswald the Lucky Rabbit and all that.
Yeah. Everything that became franchise was once the new original thing that would go on to inspire new. Yes, exactly. That is how it works. Alien was weird. Fucking the Blair Witch Project was weird. All these things start out as weird.
Evangelion was weird.
Iron Man was a fucking risk. And now it's the
It
Yeah.
was.
well, yeah, it's like all of this like creativity is never going to be the popular thing until it is. That's unfortunately
Yeah,
just how
not
it works.
and another thing is not all of these works are created on their own. They're fundamentally, a lot of these things are going to be inspirations of other properties, and you can create things based on other properties that are just as, if not arguably more creative. I don't give a fuck that Shin Kamen Rider is derivative of another person's work or a remake of another person's work. It's still one of the best films of that year.
Power Rangers is literally just a mishmash of another Japanese series. It's completely different, and it's something that's new and unique to America that is separate from what is being done in Japan.
Shin Godzilla is an amazing reimagining of the original Godzilla for the modern age, and it's amazing. I can't praise it enough.
Yeah.
Star Wars was
Also-
inspired by Flash Gordon. Yep.
Yeah, and
Old samurai
bunch of
movies.
Japanese samurai
Samurai 7,
movies.
yeah.
The Seven Samurai ended up inspiring the why am I blanking on it? It's the Wild West film. Magnificent Seven.
We wouldn't
The-
as not good as that film is, Man of Steel wouldn't have that
Also, be right back.
that ending fight
All right.
scene without Birdie the Mighty Decode.
Wait, really?
Oh, right. I forgot
Yes.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, Zack Snyder said that he was inspired by Birdie the Mighty. There was a fight scene that he inspired the fight scene with Zod in. And it's the fight scene at the end of season 2 where she's fighting Nataru.
Yeah. Sometimes you forget that Zack Schneider's a weeb.
I know, right?
And then you see the fucking what's that movie? The one that we reacted about.
Which one? Rebel Moon?
Rebel Moon, yeah, and you watch Rebel Moon and you see the Asian character and their backstory and the fucking arms, and I'm all like, yeah, he's a weeb.
Yeah. 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 Like a lot of people get inspired off of different things. You can still be creative while criticizing something, because Madoka Magica was also a criticism of the magical girl genre, but it's still a creative and beautiful piece of artwork on its own as well.
I was going to say, Zack
Yeah.
Snyder really should have taken inspiration from the writing of Birdie the Mighty Decode.
Yeah, it really should have.
Yugok says, Jesus fucking Christ, entire new subgenres got birthed since these takes were relevant. What kind of rock did this guy crawl from under?
Honest to God.
It-
Like, I feel like reaction
single
videos
thing-
have gotten substantially better.
Literally speak, there was a whole fucking war that went on with Twitch as a result of
Yes.
people that were just, freaking Hassan leaving his chair just to sit there as a
Yes.
video played to entertain his people. Like that's
Yeah.
like that was a huge blow up, and I'm not entirely sure how that got resolved, but people called that shit out. This man, you're behind the times, and you're wrong as well. Like you're just
Yeah.
everywhere but the right place. And XQC, yeah, fuck XQC.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
those guys are fucking idiots.
this man literally, what we're just seeing here is wow, no one wants to watch my original work. That's what this is.
Maybe it's because I don't know what the fuck it is. How about you tell us about it? Advertise it. Put your freaking boots on the ground and give us a reason to show up.
Yeah.
No, it couldn't. We exist in the void that 10,000 professional fans on YouTube scream into every
I do like
day.
that he has a lot of
Everything has
content
become
of
discourse.
this game,
We
which
talked
was
about dragons.
wasn't it that an indie game?
Yes, it's one of the most
Yes.
famous indie games of all time. It's massive,
Hollow
and it was
Knight,
made by
yeah.
like a team of 5 people.
Yeah.
Yes. And
So
people
very
appreciate it.
In fact, just today, as part of the Switch 2 announcement, people were fucking praising God because we finally have a release date for Silksong, the sequel to this game.
Yep.
It's like people were like pissed that they hadn't heard about the game in like 3 or 4 years. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So like there's room for new stuff to come out and to get popular and big. I don't understand.
I mean,
What
if
is
the
going on
video
here?
is this bad, would you want to watch any of his other stuff? No.
No.
Fuck no,
To be-
baby.
No.
I'm curious what he produces originally, but I don't know if I would ever watch it in earnest.
Dogma 2's
Yeah.
microtransactions for 3 weeks, we somehow had a culture war over Sydney Sweeney's boobs. If you type in
What?
Super Mario 64 is
What?
bad, actually into YouTube, I bet you get tons of results. Ha! Look, there you go. Look at all that. There's a
Okay,
and
but
yeah,
you'll have
and-
just as many videos talking about how good it is.
Yeah, and they can compare and
Not to
contrast
mention-
and be talking about different things and different elements, and people's barometers for what qualifies good or bad in that circumstance are going to be different.
Not
Like-
to mention, if we're talking about original creative stuff, like what the fuck ever you want us to talk about, I literally typed like during this video animation, and a bunch of new shit just comes up to my feed instantly.
Yeah. We're basically just not allowed to talk about the things that we consume. That is basically what this video boils down to. Because it's not creative to have an opinion, and therefore it's bad and that you shouldn't do
The
it.
paradox here, though, is this video falls under that umbrella.
Yeah. I mean, I mentioned
Yeah.
that several
Yeah.
times earlier.
Well, yeah, but it's like, so why should we care about your fucking essay, buddy?
Yes.
YouTube video for every opinion in the world right now, and I for one think we all need to learn on occasion to just shut the fuck up. Alright, this
You
final
first,
line of
buddy.
This video script
Yeah, you
was
first,
written
bitch.
On Friday, March 29th, 2024. 3 hours prior, at 12:26, I wrote this tweet. That was when I got the idea for this video.
There's people
You're
talking-
such a whiny baby.
God forbid you make one slightly mid-movie game, some white guy will have whipped up a 6-hour essay. Yeah, that was your opening fucking line. You just reused it
Oh.
verbatim.
I guess anyone who complains about a video or a game is just automatically white. I'm sorry, Kaiser.
Kaiser, we're gonna take away
You
your
have
black
lost your
card.
Yeah,
status.
I don't count apparently.
I'm
Holy
sorry.
shit.
I'm sorry. You have been taken away all of your black card. You are no longer allowed to say the N word in either variation of ER or A at the end. Your any preference for fried chicken or watermelon are now revoked. You must now have an average amount of enjoyment in it, or in fact a hatred for it. Let's see, what other stereotypes can I hit?
Well, it's a good thing. Well, it's a good thing I already finished my chicken. So
No, you're
that's
not
right.
allowed. You have to cough that up
Yeah,
right
you
now.
Go to the
Get that out
bathroom,
of your system.
vomit it back into the container and hand it off to the next black person you see that still has the black card.
Kaiser's getting Biden blessed.
The melanin has
You are no
receded,
longer
like
Kendrick Lamar's target audience.
like starting from your fingertips, the melanin just starts to recede. And it's like, no!
Dude, it's like that joke from Everybody Hates Chris, where I think Chris's mom is all like, "I will smack the black off of you," and then you just see the freaking cutaway gag of that actually happening.
Oh no, Peter,
Dude,
quick!
that's so-
Switch pigments!
Yeah, bro, mayonnaise and no seasoning, bro. Yeah,
you're-
exactly.
you're
Also,
bound to that now.
jokes aside, though, Fudge, you're an insecure little fucking bitch. I know exactly what you're doing. You're pulling a fucking Chris Stuckman right now.
Oh, fuck,
You are
you're
doing
right.
exactly what all of these wannabe, whiny, pseudo-intellectual, pretentious dickheads do when they are insecure that their little pet project that they've been slaving away for almost 5 to 10 years hasn't been working out. You feel personally attacked every time somebody shits on a game that in your opinion isn't really all that bad, guys. It doesn't deserve this much hate. That's a dagger in your heart, because you fundamentally, deep down, you're afraid that on first release, when you release whatever piece of crap that you've been working on, that people are going to shit on it, and whether or not these guys are going beyond the pale, they're gonna fucking talk about it. And if it's seriously bad, they're going to malign you, and you're gonna be an absolute joke for the next fucking week. That's what this is about. This isn't about protecting creatives. It's protecting yourself. It's about covering your own ass. And I will not fucking stand for it because you're insulting not only my work, you're disrespecting yourself. Forget freaking a skill issue. This is a life issue, motherfucker. Get used to it.
Oh, that was great.
That was.
It took me 3 hours to write this script, and the video has only gone up so long after.
And
the
he
fact
asked if you
because
seriously
I
had
can-
black.
to finish for Palette
I can
first.
tell
only had
that
it
it took you
written and
only
made
3
cut.
hours to write this shitty script.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it only has 26K views, by the way. Most of my channel's content has gotten bigger than this one. Proudfully, actually.
And it's a glorified advertisement for a service that I do not want to join because you have insulted me
actually-
at every step of this video.
Yeah, how many... Actually, do you want to guess how many subs that freaking channel he made based on that service has right now?
Oh, him and his buddies, I'm going to guess about 10,000.
Twy?
I will say 7,000.
Twy is closer as 4,000.
Damn!
And by the way, this video was made...
A year ago.
hold on a second. Yeah,
it was
a year
made
ago.
literally the 13th will be a year.
Get fucked, loser.
I'm going to look at the comments after this. I'm intrigued.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
This
same
video is
here.
more creatively involved and fulfilling and much more challenging over the years of this channel. Admittedly, many of them towing the video essay line because that's just kind of what you have to do, but many of them also not. And when they're not just why I like this thing, or why insert thing here is good, or why insert thing here is bad, I'd say they average about 4,000 or 5,000 views.
Wow,
These
Elon
sound
Musk
breaks
has
or
really
anything.
let it go.
I've long made my case because I'm just
Oh my god.
creativity doesn't do numbers, criticizing other people's work does.
Correction.
Yeah, because
your
you're bad
criticism,
at it.
your
You're bad at
creativity
being
doesn't do
creative.
numbers.
Yeah.
Remember,
that's a
green
you
is not a
problem.
creative
Keep-
color.
Yeah, it's like that meme. It's like that Ace Vein meme. Like, we? What do you mean we? Nintendo we? No, brother, we as in us. Us. We talking about the movie.
Irony. It sure is something, huh? I truly do not mean to disrespect or insult anyone, but
Well, congratulations, you
failed
failed miserably.
You literally
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
did with the way that you had formed your arguments and the
Oh,
things that
wait.
you had
there
said.
is so much
Wait, here we go.
Specifically.
Addendum. I do mean to disrespect reaction YouTubers / streamers as well as most of the weekly lo-fi video essay guys whom I suspect are frauds. I'm sorry,
Then why
you
not?
didn't qualify any of that accurately enough so I know who is who.
Why didn't you specify those in particular? JYCT
Because
did
he's
a
a
much
bitch.
better job of doing the exact same fucking thing that you did. And you know why? Because he actually did his research and he did his due diligence. It was much... You are literally the person that you are complaining about.
No, this guy is a complete bitch. He doesn't know that he is part of the problem, and why? All he can think about in this moment is how can I protect myself? How can I defend myself from all the people on Twitter who are gonna complain about this thing that I like or the thing that I am making? How about you get over it and start working on whatever it is you want to do?
You see,
Advertise
and the
it.
thing is,
Literally.
if you were aggressive towards someone, but you had a thought-out point that actually made sense, I'd actually be
Yeah.
more amenable. But you didn't. And
Yes.
you also were just, again, Kaiser called you a bitch, and I'm going to call you one now, too, because you didn't bother.
Double bitch.
You didn't fucking bother. You hide behind the vagaries. You're doing the shadow boxing bullshit. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Actually call out the people you're going to call out. And if you're afraid of backlash, you
Yeah.
just gotta change your language. Use that fucking
Look,
creative
dude,
writing
you
degree that you're
admire-
not you're completely wasting right now. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
You suck off H Bomber Guy's dick until the cows came home this entire freaking video, and yet you're even more of a bleeding pussy than he is.
Oh.
At least Harris bothered to call out specific people. What the fuck have you done?
Yeah, because the major problem with videos like this is that they don't call out very specific creators. If if you leave it vague, then people aren't going to have very different understandings of what you mean by a bad content creator. And they are going to go after whoever they personally think is bad, whether or not you actually agree with them.
You talk
simply because they don't like them.
Because you keep talking in vagaries. If you don't give us examples of things that are not kosher by your standards, then how are we going to know what those standards are? All you're saying is, well, you can't do this. But then, 2 minutes later, you say, well, but there's an exception here, which means, wait, there are exceptions? You didn't mention exceptions.
Yeah.
I mean, you go into detail. Why is one thing bad and one thing not? And you're...
Raymond... But Raymond,
Yeah.
he's a victim, okay? He is this unappreciated artist who's trying to make creative works on this platform in order to bring something new to the space, and the YouTube algorithm is just keeping him down, mate.
Did you say artist or autist? Because honestly, theoretically speaking, it could work either way.
What's the difference?
As we famously know, all autistic people are creatives and no one else. I'm sorry, Raymond. You are not a creative person because you're not autistic.
I don't know. I might be.
I mean, you already have ADHD. All you have to do is just get that autism diagnosis.
Oh,
shit.
But yeah.
Hero worship of the people who are just a gateway into things you already love, which in turn are made by people who get scrutinized and analyzed at every angle to an insane degree. There are so many parasocial relationships being formed, unhealthy creator discords.
Get autistic is the new get good.
Yeah, dude.
Honestly, I would
Don't
actually like
underestimate
that.
our power.
Let's make that a thing. You know what? People
Yeah,
are
let's make
calling
that
it.
a thing.
Honestly. Get
Oh,
autistic, buddy.
So much merchandise being sold based on someone else's IP just because it's a thing a YouTuber talks about. I'm no simp for corporations, but does that not feel a bit weird? There is still an artist.
Hang on, you're
No.
assuming that people are only doing this for corporations.
As a fan of
Yeah,
Maxer, I
what?
agree. I'm sorry, that man somehow goes well beyond autism. That whatever he is, it doesn't belong on this planet.
Oh my gosh.
No, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that like that man is beyond comprehension. His editing is insane to the point that like you have a seizure while you're watching it.
Ugh.
I guess what I'm saying is we are just people on the internet talking about things. More so
No
than
shit.
ever in
Yeah.
2024, we are just that.
And?
Nothing more. This place used to breed real creatives all the time. Now, it's more of a forum.
Oh my god.
Fuck.
It's always
off,
been a
dude.
forum.
It always has been. It hasn't
I'm
changed.
sorry.
Okay.
But I have been in the anime music video scene since YouTube started. I'm sorry, it's always been like this. Shut
Also,
up. You don't
Also,
know what you're
dude-
talking about. You
Okay.
don't know anything. You have a lack of understanding of how this platform works and who is on it. And then you whine and complain when you see the other people out there in the world that have always been here.
Get off the cross. We need the wood.
honestly, yo, honest to God. And I'm all like, okay, Grandpa, all right, you want me to show you how to work the search bar? Okay. Animations, okay? And then we're gonna sort by recently uploaded. Okay?
Or, here's the thing.
There you go.
How's this? Go to Newgrounds. A lot of
Oh my
people.
fucking
Newgrounds
God.
is still active, and people are still getting their animation starts there, motherfucker. You can go there and
Yes.
view brand new animations every single fucking day. You will never lose them. You will never get tired of them.
You know what? My Lily
And that one has
Orchard
porn.
video.
Sorry.
My Lily Orchard video, which is not really it's a response video, so I don't know if this counts in his eyes, but it's finally getting more views than my Naruto AMV that I made when I was fucking 16 years old. That
I think it
for the
counts.
longest time, that was the biggest video on my channel, and I don't know why people still watch it to this day.
Yeah, and like, again, my most viewed video is my World Trigger video, and barely anyone talks about that series. The fact that above any of the other things that I made, I thought the Bumblebee video would be the tip top. But no, it was the World Trigger one, because people like watching videos talking about power systems, and my editing style and my presentation and my argumentation carried it forward.
And his constant talking about it. That helps a lot.
You see, this is how you grow. This is how you grow your product, motherfucker. You shill the fuck out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm not very good at shilling. I am a very quiet person, and that's probably why my Digimon video doesn't get a lot of attention. I mean, it's gotten a lot more attention than what I thought it was, but you know, I don't put in the work, and I am at peace with that, because I need to get used to being like out there and marketing myself and all of that stuff, because you don't realize that that is a big part of the video creation process, and it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of effort. And my guy, like, you just don't seem to get it, even though that you're doing the exact same things. Why don't you get it?
Watch our stuff, enjoy it, but save your immense respect and adoration, because there are others far more deserving of it out there.
Like who? Can you name them? No? You're
well, no, that's his point. They don't exist. Right. They just died.
Oh, they don't exist
all
anymore.
All the animators that ever existed are
Essayists,
dead. They're all dead.
Yeah, the Essayists slaughtered them.
The Great Purge of 2015.
Let me look at my
fucked loser.
Let me go look at my animatic that I made for Critters thing. Not this year, but last year, because I couldn't participate this year because I was working on that Lily Orchard video and it took way too fucking long to do.
Oh no, Twy.
What?
Oh,
look at one of the most insane games ever made.
Oh, no.
Digimon. The PS1 game, Digimon Adventure, or whatever.
Oh no.
He's rewriting Pokemon Sword and Shield?
How dare you be so derivative? Why would you do such a thing? You're just not a creative person.
Top 10 games in 2024. Smash Ultimate anti-meta characters. My biggest video ever is live right now. Mike, oh my god, is this the one that's like, it's pushing his new channel, is it? I'm guessing.
Maybe.
Is it the top 100 games? Yeah! It's him pushing palette swap with the
absolute fucking joke.
Okay. My Critter Challenge animatic is only at 657 views. And I can understand why it doesn't have that much. Because one thing, most people who probably wanted to watch such a thing watched on Critter's channel, because that's what it was for. Another thing, it's not the best animatic, because I don't draw as much or as often as I should in order to keep myself from being fucking rusty. And I know that that's a me problem. I need to kick my ass more. I need like someone to like sit me down and force me to do something that I want to do, because it's hard for me to start things. But I also didn't spread my video around in order for people to watch it. Also, it's an original character that nobody knows about, and won't know about until I get my novel out there. So why would anyone bother to watch something that isn't even all that well animated in the first place as an animatic? Because I didn't have very long to do it, because I spent a whole month mourning my grandmother's death instead of working on this animatic. Like, I spent only 2 months working on it when I had, like, I think 4 or 5. So, like, there's a lot of compounding factors as to why this video didn't do very well in comparison to something like the Lily Orchard video or my Digimon video, or even my learning Japanese video that I did like 8 years ago where I was going over how to use the WaniKani website that has 4K views. I forgot to make the follow-up video to that because I got too caught up in all of the other websites for WaniKani that people had made.
All right, I was going to look at the comments for this video.
Yeah, look at the comments.
All right.
I'm concerned that it comes off like I'm telling dudes who don't like Mario 64 to shut the fuck up, and like I'd say I'm not the case. I respect their right to their wrong opinions. They are just a much more harmless part of the larger point I was making. It's not fight. Let's maybe be best friends. I hear opposites attract. Anyway, enough of that boring shit palette swap gra. Okay, that's an awful pinned comment. The best video essays are the ones that stand alone as their own piece of work. Jacob Keller doesn't seem... So many video essays are literally just people linearly describing the thing they're talking about, adding nothing to the original topic. He didn't describe that, though.
What the hell are you talking about?
This is what I was talking about when I was saying that people can just make up their own idea of what he means because he doesn't actually say anything. It can literally his point.
It's
literally be whatever you want it to be.
Ironically, searching for the problem with YouTube brings up countless videos similar to this one.
Yeah.
Yep. Very good. I'll say I'm really glad I watched this. As someone who makes art, I think this focus on criticism is actually really harmful to the process of making art. Being fearful of the boogeyman in your head who keeps calling you what you create stupid or a waste of time or, by God, uncomfortable. The reaction and essay kinds of videos have their place, but it's important to remember that distinction, good stuff. I'm sorry, no.
What?
Like fearful, like it just means you work harder. It pushes you to make it. Also, the uncomfortable thing wasn't related at all.
No, you place that onto it because, again, all of this shit breeds insecurity. Insecurity attracts insecurity. All of you people are quivering fucking pussies because you are afraid of getting a negative reaction to your work to a substantive degree.
Ooh, here's a good one.
You're not able to get over it.
It's from Skyhoppers. I'm sorry it's not well centered on screen, but I don't know. I don't fundamentally disagree with any of your points, but I don't love the way you treat the whole genre of writing as some category other than real creativity. I could off the cuff list dozens of video essay channels that have a compelling, unique writing and or editing style with clear effort and passion behind them. You acknowledge that some people can do video essays creatively, but still seem to regard them as the exception and regard the whole concept at its core as uncreative, which I disagree with. A good essay pushes past the media it includes to say something new and true beyond it. Some people fail at that, sure, but there is no lack of brilliant writers on this platform succeeding at that, and I think that's beautiful. And I think this idea you're working with, that online media critics have become the real celebrities, somehow is bizarre, frankly. Like, what are you talking about? Media criticism is not more of an industry than media. It's a tiny blip, really. The average coworker has never heard of a video essay, but they watch movies and play games. No online critic has reached the celebrity Ebert and Siskel achieved decades ago. Maybe I'm in my own bubble too, where I've somehow avoided all the worst sides of this field, but I don't see where you're coming from. Like, you pair that final line with the footage from Tears of the Kingdom as if nobody's ever heard of Eiji Aonuma, but they have. They know him. There's a YouTube video for every opinion in the world right now. But there's not. I mean, that's I don't mean that pedantically either. Art analysis and art criticism are tremendously complex. The well is nowhere remotely close to dry for compelling video essays, as writing about art has the same potential for depth as the art itself, essentially infinite. Because video essays aren't art too. They can be bad art, often are, but there is no division separating them from real art. There are hundreds of more possible ways to write about how Super Mario 64 is overrated because everyone is capable of bringing something new to the table. I know your main points are that we should spend more time engaging with the primary art, that by a quirk of the numbers, video essays have been unfairly prioritized by the algorithm, and that YouTube critics should be criticized more often than they are. I agree with all that fully. I just wish you actually criticize the particular practices and creators you dislike with specificity rather than minimizing an entire art form Like, why did you say the first minute that you can make an 8-hour video in 2 weeks? I know you know that's not true, but many viewers won't know you're exaggerating. Even the laziest 8-hour video is hundreds of hours of work. Now, thousands of people in your audience will come away thinking anyone can make one of those things in a handful of work days. It feels like you lied there to make a point sound stronger.
Yes.
That is
All
such
of that.
a
Wow.
good fucking comment.
How many
It
likes
really
does that
is.
comment has?
95.
Really?
It needs more. It needs way more.
Looking at the rest of the comment section, the other two highest are 164 and 602. So it's not all, and then 190, 132. Sorry. So
Still
Right.
deserves more.
it still deserves more. I'm gonna give it one. There you go.
Deserves so much
There
more.
you go, Betty. People agreeing with this comment. People agreeing with this comment. People agreeing with comment. People made an essay in the comment. And I think that's a good note to wind things down on. Thank you all so
Honestly.
much for joining us. I hope you had a good time. I'm glad we got a lot of conversation out of this video. There was a lot of good talk here. Oh,
Yep.
either of you have anything you want to announce?
No.
I guess
I'm-
in my oh sorry, go ahead, Twi.
I'm gonna try to stream tomorrow because I missed the weekend because I was distracted by Grandpa going to get his knee surgery. So I'm sorry about that. I'll stream tomorrow.
In my case, I have been working on a very special new video. It's gonna be another Ruby comparison video. But I'm not gonna say which characters I'm comparing to yet. Some of you guys already know, but I'm gonna keep that close to my chest for right now. But hopefully that should be done by the end of the month. I'm doing all I can because at this point, this is where like the end of the semester is happening, and hopefully I'll graduate and get my bachelor's finally.
Yay!
But it should be good by then. Either that, or I'll just make like a highlight video of one of my most recent streams, which is really fun. And speaking of streaming, I am planning on streaming just later this Sunday. I'm undecided what video I'm gonna be talking about, but I should be able to choose one very, very soon. So stay tuned for that.
Awesome. I don't really have. They have obviously Bad Fanfiction Night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday. Twi will hopefully be there this week, so
Yes,
she can also.
I will
suffer
be
with
there.
me.
Well, I can take this week since you took last week.
Okay, we can look into that.
Yeah.
Then, why did the top screen go off? I'll figure that later. I put up the logo and everything, and for some reason it deactivated. Let's see. I don't think I have much else to announce. Still working on Sentinels, still working on fixing Ruby, still working on setting up the Pathfinder campaign that I want to run for the group here on JYCT. That's been I've been pretty deep into that recently. Yeah, I don't know. Is it because I think I might have figured it. No, restart playback when the person becomes. What the fuck?
Oh, nice.
Why is the screen turning off? Anyway, I'm irritated by that. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. Remember, if you like this content, subscribe to the channel, become a member potentially. If you want to show us even more love, join the Discord server because we'd love to see you guys in there. You can do that through the membership or the Patreon. It's your choice. And we'll catch you all on the flip side.
Goodbye.